been a feature in the minor league system here for a couple of years as well. So really good good batter overall. And I think this is an important challenge because now coming from the southern end of the ground is going to be 𝗚𝗚 𝗏𝗃, who is another left-arm seamer. So double left-arm attack. I will tell you that I am in heaven, 𝗂𝗏𝗄𝐴.
This is the left of the world of the left-armers that we're living in. 2 bowling, 1 commentating. Unmukt Chand. Talk about big-name players. Unmukt Chand is one of them. And he would have enjoyed those 2 strikes. More than that, he would have enjoyed seeing the ball coming onto the bat because that's what he likes as well.
Goodness, yes. So Unmukt Chand, obviously in his last minor league season in the Dallas area for the first time. Kings 11 Dallas is the team he played with. Had a couple of lean years in the minor leagues, but bounced back to great form this past season. And of course, you know, they say form is temporary, class is permanent. Unmukt Chand has class.
Yeah, he doesn't have fond memories of this ground because he played for Atlanta Lightning a couple of seasons that you're talking about, and the pitches were really tough. And he found the going tough like the other batters, so that's what I said. Ball coming on, he would have felt good about it. It's in the air, in the gap, bounces away. Abhinav is not holding back.
𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, after having absorbed a couple dot balls to start, has been on fire since. Balls faced 2 4s and a 6, and he's
early worries there for the fielding side. You see, talk about Roshan Primus. He's got in the ear of the skipper. He must have noted something. And that's what he's come up with. That's the experience can do for you. Experience heads in the field. Roshan Primus, obviously very experienced, not only in other parts, but he's part of this USA cricket calendar as well. So he knows quite a few things.
looking to be a little bit more defensive here. I think the formula for 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 is pretty simple. If the ball is there to be hit, throw the kitchen sink at it. If it's a good ball, you respect it. Several years ago, another lefty, 𝗚 𝗏𝗃𝗃 said, if it look fat, attack it. If it look good, block it. That is the simple formula, and that is what he's doing now, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Slightly wider, in fact, quite wide. Umpire Ravi. First chance for him to get into action. Two officials for the umpire. Umpire Ravi officiating at the combox end, and umpire Nuruddin is at the far end, standing at square leg at the moment for the left-hander. Two very good umpires. We're in good hands in that department.
Oh.
Again,
making such a good sound off the bat, isn't it? So all of a sudden, earlier when the captains were talking about who was going to do what, the batting side wanted about 140. Thought 140 would give them a good score, and thought that anything above 130, 140 would be a challenge. Right now they're going at the rate of 8.73 and over, which absolutely is going to be tricky. This is a thick outside edge. It might run away down the hill for 4, and it absolutely does. So 4 more to aggressive.
that one wasn't really a difficult one. Full toss wide outside the off stump, and although it came off the thickest outside half of the bat, the result is good, and Abhinav's scoring shots has been 6-4-4. In fact, it's 4-6-6, 4-6-4-4. No singles. Out of the 10 balls, all he's done is hit boundaries. And again, but this time straight down the throat of the fielder. He cannot believe what he's done. First blood.
Well, sometimes your strength can be your weakness. If the ball is there to be hit, you're hitting it. But noticeably, they dropped the mid-on back to long-on. Mayura Lakshmikant. my apologies, is who is down there long on. And so 𝗵𝗫𝗂𝗃 putting away, you'd want to think that he would have put away the big shot, given that there's a fielder drop back into the deep straight. Did not put that big shot away. It would have been 4, 3 deliveries ago. It's a wicket here.
He's gone for 18. And Raiders Unlimited, 20 for none. 20 for 1. I have written in front of me. Remove this. 𝗧 𝗦𝗽𝗃𝗏, the new man in. 20 for 1, Raiders Unlimited. Abhinav is looking good, but he couldn't carry on. And a good comeback from the Thunderbolts. Now right hand, left hand combination in the middle. Something different for the bowlers to think about. We got a slip in place. Still inside the power play, so there's a fielder out at deep cover and a fine leg. These are the two sweepers. Another full toss. Bit of a mixed bag there from Aryan.
Yeah, I had to side with another full delivery. Seam bowling full, wanting to take advantage of the swing. Now, the swing here will be different. It will be in swing to the two right-handers. So you don't necessarily have a strong, an offside slip cordon, if you will. There's one slip, he's there for the one that goes away, but a relatively normal field beyond that.
Playing a miss. Good carry on that one as well. And that left arm over angle, always going away from that right-hander, and it'll be a good challenge if he's able to bring that ball back in.
It is the angle for me. Left arm over the wicket. So many bowlers default to going around the wicket, left arm bowlers to right-handers. But this angle going across the righty, particularly early in the innings, is a good one.
Nicely punched down the ground, and a nice and early call from 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃. I think he looks like he's settling his stall here, helped by a few early boundaries. That means that there is no instant pressure to get on a move. But 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃, the longer he stays, you know that he's going to catch up with his strike rate, and he's going to make use of the deliveries that he's using up now.
I've been accused of jinxing 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 in the past, but he is so easy on the eyes. Looks like he has all the time in the world to play the ball, plays it right under his nose, but he also has the innovative shots, the scoops, and the reverse sweeps. Truly aggressive batter.
Good call. This time it was 𝗧 who called, and obviously 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 responded. That is a great example of good running between the wicket. If you look at 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃, he didn't look back what was happening behind his back. We see so many of these batters found guilty of ball watching, but 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 was trusting his partner's call.
𝗧 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃, not really known as much in this part of the world. He's originally from England, but plays his cricket for Jersey. I don't mean New Jersey, I mean the country of Jersey. Career-wise, he's played 27 T20s, high score of 43, 390 runs, and average of 18.57, but that's at the international level. So you would think at this level, he would probably want to double those numbers. And overall, just from the few deliveries that we've seen from him so far, it looks to be pretty solid. I want to see what he looks like when he plays attacking shots, but he looks good so far.
Just getting the feel of it at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
Got a nice stride on to get his first run the previous ball. Mook rocks back onto that back foot. This rotation of strike is good in this over, but a good finish to the over from young 𝗂𝗍𝗽𝐸 after that full toss early doors. 3 gone, 23 for 1. Cloudy skies here at Rydell in Georgia, home of 𝗃𝗵𝗴𝗃 Sports Complex. It's a picturesque venue, plenty of greenery around. At the moment, plenty of cloud as well. We haven't seen that excessive movement through the air though, despite that heavy cloud cover.
Mm-hmm. It's an all left arm attack so far. 2 left arm seamers. Now you'll have some left arm orthodox spin in the form of 𝗃𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 from the Houston area. Tremendous left-arm bowler, and in recent years has gotten himself very fit, and to me looks the part in a number of ways. Historically on this pitch, you'll see a lot of turn. I'm interested in seeing how well he does here.
You're the man of minor league cricket and USA cricket. I'm going to ask you a question after this. Nice tipping delivery to start off. There's plenty of breeze around, so you'd like to throw that ball up in the air and get it to dip. Talk about the depth in left-arm spin department in this country. Half a dozen to your mind instantly.
I can't start calling names because I'll invariably forget somebody. But my goodness, it is an absolute strength for the U.S. Also, left-arm pace. Not necessarily about, and I'm a rookie as it relates to knowing who's eligible to represent the U.S. That's a good delivery there, turning away from the right-hander. But particularly, you saw the minor league playoffs last week. Again, I don't want to start calling names because I'll forget somebody, but 6 or 7 solid left-arm pacers and then a plethora of left-arm spin. That is really a strong department in this country.
And that makes it the competition so intense. Talk about 2 left-arm seamers that I saw last week in minor league, 𝗂𝗚𝗏𝗄𝗎𝐻 and 𝗬𝗏𝗂𝐿 𝗃.
Incredible.
Incredibly skillful
Absolutely
bowlers.
Incredible. 𝗬𝗏𝗃, of course, you know him well. In fact, you probably know both of them well.
Yeah.
One day, Shah Faisal, I'll get back to that story in a minute, Shah Faisal. Second wicket down.
Yeah, Unmukt Chand is not a happy one. He hasn't had a good time of it here at this venue, and today will be no different. Just a very soft dismissal. Once again, you see 𝗃𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗃 throwing the ball up in the air. Get that dip. Unmukt never quite got to it and just chipped it straight to the fielder. A very, very soft dismissal. A quizzical look at the pitch and a very, very slow drag off the pitch for Unmukt Chand. But Unlimited are now 2 down for 25.
So I'll tell you that quick story real quick. But every once in a while I'm called into emergency duty as an umpire. And so a match a couple of years ago, I was called to umpire, and 𝗬𝗏𝗃 was bowling from my end. And it's one thing to watch him on the screen. Seeing him in person, that ball is curling around corners into the pads of the right-handers. He's a tremendous bowler. Ghulam Madasa, slightly different, more pacey, and maybe slightly away in terms of his movement, but both of them are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, incredible, incredible. And 2 different left-armers, though, like you rightly said. Those are more slingy, more across the right-handers. But 𝗬𝗏𝗃, you'd feel that have all the tricks.
Oh.
I actually saw him in one of the first-class games a few years back in Karachi. This is wide. Didn't come out quite all right from the hand. Snell is the new man in. And on the final day of a 4-day match, he bounced a team out single-handedly. 7 wickets in the 4th innings of the game. And some quick bouncers, against some very good batters though. So the man has, like I said, every trick. And keep an eye out for him. Like you said, in terms of qualification, sometimes we may not know where everyone is.
Yep.
But yeah, he's on the circuit, all right, and it's a pure joy to watch him.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We started with left-arm spinners and we drifted to left-arm quicks. You dodged that one pretty nicely, Brian. 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃.
I am nothing if not a politician, sir. End of over number 4, 28 for 2.
𝗵𝐴 for 2 after 4 overs. That whirlwind start there from Abhinav. Already looks a long time ago, because now the ball has started to dominate. They were 20 for 1 after 2 overs, and that is the last delivery of the second over when Abhinav went. It's been a struggle since.
And the side bowling a good spell here. 2 overs, 13.
Looking for that inward movement and fuller length. Nicely thumped down the ground. Won't make it to the fence. Gets slightly heavier towards the edges of the boundary. Thick grass here at 𝗵𝗺.
So I said a good spell. Good spell in the sense that he's looking and searching for movement. That's what you want to do. Bowl a fuller length and maybe that top of off stump type of length. Cashed in a couple of deliveries by Abhinav-Sikaram, but as you said, that feels like a thing of the past now because the bowling is now starting to come to the fore.
That's good length, but the line also, with the left arm angle, he's not giving any room. He's not straying onto the pads as well. Settled into his spell very nicely after those 2 where he went for 10 off 2 deliveries. It's a bit chilly as well this morning. Would have taken players a little bit to warm up, although they do their pre-game routine. But the weather's changing in this part of the world. It's very pleasant, by the way, to play and watch cricket.
A lot colder than I'm accustomed to at this time of the year, being from living in Texas, put it that way.
Slightly jinxed him in terms of his line because that was too straight, and I think it was a leg by. Yep, the umpire has given it as one. Hey, you're part of the world that is pretty hot and you do a lot of cricket. I'm glad, and I'm sure you're glad, that you only commentate. It's very hot when in July and August some of these temperatures really go soaring up above 100. That's gone straight up. Another dismissal. 𝗧 looking to pounce on a shorter delivery. It got big on him and it went straight up in the air. Thunderbolts, their comeback continues.
And the side is, as you said, goes a little bit shorter, but a pacer delivery. And 𝗧 was just a little bit late on that shot and just managing to top edge it. Here you see him, and maybe a little bit too close to him to play the shot that he was looking to play. Looking almost to force that one away on the leg side, not getting much contact on it. And my goodness, it goes as a catch, a pretty simple catch in the covers. And make that 2 deliveries left in over number 5. And I'll tell you, things have just gotten a lot more interesting, Shah Faisal.
Certainly have.
Not because of the arrival of the captain, Sujit Nayak, but the arrival off camera of one Lenny Achaibar, who will be joining us sometime very soon. Oh, my goodness. Well, stuff has just gotten real with the arrival of this man. Forget what's happening on the field right now.
He must have left home midnight to get here this early. I don't know. Are you in trouble with your marital life, Lenny? Well, it's our gain. Whoever's lost it is that he's here. And we certainly welcome him along in Atlanta. He loves coming down here, and we love him coming down here. 𝗖𝗫𝗍 on a roll here. It starts off with another full delivery, attempting to get whatever swing is available in the air. Good start there for skipper Sujit. And still one delivery to go in the over. 33 for 3, and the start that looked so promising after Abhinav's couple of strikes. His power play is clearly heading towards Seattle Thunderbolts.
I don't think there's any question of that. You lose 3 big top-order wickets inside the power play. That almost always goes to the advantage of the bowling side. So it feels like a really good day to have decided to bowl first. And I think the bowlers, particularly 𝗖𝗫𝗍, are making that decision look like a really good one.
And the fall of wickets will bring some pressure, will bring some confusion in the running between the wickets. Dot to close out over number 5 is 33 for 3. Getting to know the system. He needs a break.
33 for 3, Shah Faisal. And I will tell you, as we talked about, the fact that the left arm seamers have done really, really well so far. So we're going to go with the last over of the power play being some left arm, make that right arm spin orthodox. It is going to be Mayura Lakshmikant. Mayura, I'm apologizing to you from now if I mispronounce your name. But not a bad idea to get some left arm spin into the right arm spin, my apologies, into the left-handed hitting Sujit Nayak.
Yeah, Lakshmikant will be, that's kind of matchup that people or the teams look up to these days. So even if it's power play, they brought in the off spin.
And you like that, attacking. You like to see the first slip where one delivery into the last over of the power play. The field is set in such a way that is going to incentivize the big hit over mid-on, but what you're trying to do there is to have him hit across the line to a ball that's turning away from him. Beautiful delivery there.
Yeah, a lot of dip and turn and bounce. Look at where the wicketkeeper took that ball as well. That is terrific bowling and a very good start. Paramveer surfaces, they always offer something to the spinners. And at this level, the quality we have, they can really make life difficult for the batters.
Oh, goodness. You love seeing that. Excellent effort here. Good matchup. A little too short in this one, though. Almost like a pressure release.
Yeah, exactly. That's the conditions may be helpful, but you still have to execute your skills. You cannot just allow the pitch to do everything for you. And a rare short one from Lakshmikant. He got away with it, by the way, because, again, the slow nature of the pitch, the ball sticking in the pitch, messing up the timing of the batter.
Yeah, I would suggest that if Sujit Nayak was there on maybe 30 or 40 balls, that probably would have gone for either 4 or 6. But that's just getting into his craft here, Sujit Nayak. So not quite accustomed to the timing yet. Different challenge here, turning it into the right-handed batter. Quick single. And when the ball isn't necessarily scorching away to the fence, Shah Faisal, those singles are so important.
They are very, very important. What I'm liking with this over, though, is even that last delivery you saw, there's quite a lot of bounce. He's giving it a good rip and getting something out of the pitch. That fielder slip is in play. Not with that kind of delivery, though. Second short one of the over.
Well, if you're going to be short, you want to be short on the offside. And there's no such thing as a good short ball from a spinner, but you prefer to miss in that direction. And a good delivery. That's the length that you want. Excellent stuff from Mayura Lakshmikant. End of over number 6. End of the power play. Single to close things out. End of the power play sees the score at 36 for 3.
Ready? We do a swerve of 10. Ready? So there is no mute during the overs.
Well, the partnership of 𝗂𝗡 Faisal and Brian Walters put on 36 runs in 6 overs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an all-West Indian second wicket partnership here. I am joined by the great 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗧. Good morning, 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗧.
Thank you, Brian Walters.
You have the smile on your face that lights up 1,000 earths, 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗧.
Yeah, social media reminds us that it was a year ago, just about this time we were here. Russian Primus.
Russian Primus, stockily built from the man from the island of Barbados. Doesn't have a bounding run-up, but is all shoulders and releases that ball at a really high pace.
Thank you. Yes, Brian Walters. And when you look at the composure and certainly the physics of Russian Primus, a couple of other people that have been around U.S. cricket comes to mind. Brian Walters and, of course, Kennard Lewis.
Did you just say, you called me? Well, if I could bat as well as Kennard Lewis, then put me in his class any day. Good couple of solid deliveries here to start his spell here. Lenny batting first. They started out very quickly, Raiders Unlimited, but have fallen off the ball just a little bit. The run rate now down to 5.68 and over. Projected score there 114. I think they'll need more than that.
Yeah, we saw a quick knock from Sikaram, was looking pretty well, quite fluent. In fact, when he was out in the middle, out-batted 𝗏𝗏𝗏. But anytime you play against 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and you get Sikaram and you get 𝗏𝗏𝗏, you're in business.
Hammered, but straight to 𝗃𝗍𝗃, backward point that probably on this thick outfield saves a couple of runs. May not have gone for 4, but 3 dot balls to start his day.
Yeah, good shot from Nayak. It's one of those shots you want to play. Big punch into the offside, and you talked about maybe not one of the quickest outfield today. We've seen the 𝗃𝗃𝗃 Sports Complex being quick on times, Brian. A very overcast day for the time being.
I think it's going to be an inside edge onto the pad. So a single, the first run off of the bowling of Russian Primus. You talk about the outfield here in Paramveer. Excellent facility. As 𝗂𝗡 Faisal was saying earlier, it's a little bit thicker toward the ropes than on the inner circle. So the ball might not travel as quickly to the boundary at that part of the ground. But overall, just a fantastic facility for cricket.
Yes, Brian, we've seen, and as 𝗂𝗡 Faisal made mention, it's been a busy complex in the last month. A lot of games here. We take you back to the ICC on the 19 that was played here, and then, of course, a series of minor league games. And then we also heard 𝗂𝗡 Faisal with the Masters.
Quick single. Bit of a wayward throw, but covered up well. So a single that closes things out over number 7 is in the books. 39 runs on the board. So, Mr. Chaibar, you are fresh down from the great Northeast, New York to be specific. Oh, my apologies. There's 1 ball remaining in the over. So let's get back to my question to Lenny in just a second, as a short delivery pulled away into the deep, and that now will be the end of the over, I believe. It is now 39, in fact, for 3 as you get through over number 7. So as I started asking you, Lenny Chaibar, you're from the New York area, you would have seen a fair amount of minor league cricket in that part of the world this past summer. Your thoughts on the East as far as minor league is concerned this year?
Well, we saw a couple of the teams from East. No surprise there at all. We saw Cavaliers coming up for the Super 8s, and you were a part of that. And then, of course, we've seen the Stallions make another trip. They've always been one of the teams to go in the latter stages of the tournament. So, but apart from Stallions and Cavaliers, the other team probably needs some catching up to do. And let's hope that maybe next year they'll try to bridge the gap, and they could be one of the Cavaliers, or they could be one of the Stallions.
Mayura Lakshmikant continuing. Good over initially. Just one, make that 3 runs conceded from his first over. So a little bit of off spin. You see that this pitch has always favored the spinners. As I said earlier, a little bit more grass on it today, but I still think it's a spinner's wicket.
Yes, Brian, we saw the Thunderbolts starting with a couple of left-arm seamer.
Top edge, it will land in no man's land for a single. Runs have mostly dried up here, Lenny. The run rate now is only 5.59.
Yeah, they've banked on the fact that they've picked up 3 wickets so far. Still some ways to go. We've seen a bit of Nayak and Snell Patel, and probably they're just in the rebuilding phase.
Well, Captain Sujit Nayak, now 7 from 13, been there for a while, had a look. You would think that he would recognize the fact that at this stage of the innings, it's time to start pushing on. Just 75 balls remaining in the innings, and you only have 42 runs on the board.
Yeah, we've seen good bowling from Lakshmikant. A couple of spinners being used. We saw earlier on Karthik Gatapali and the 2 seamers. So they've gone with and they've gone with the 5th bowler now.
Ooh, interesting. Tries the late cut. I don't know that this is a pitch that a late cut will give you much benefit, Lenny. Okay, that's not the late cut. That's the reverse sweep. That has more legs on it. That might get close to the boundary. I think you saw evidence of what I was talking about earlier, though. The ball doesn't quite roll to the fence as quickly in that part of the ground.
Yeah, good execution. The 8th over comes to a close, Brian. It's 44 for 3. Rebuilding here. We've seen the fall of 3-wicket Unmukhchan, Sikaram, and Zach Tribe. But you get the feeling that both Snell and Sujit Nayak are beginning to come into this middle phase and try to put something on the board. Earlier on, we talked about some of the projections, and if they can get up to 140, 150 here, Brian, it'll be a very, very good score on this ground.
150 would be excellent. In order to get to 150 from here, they'd need to go at 9 and over. 9 and over gets them to 152. That feels like it would take some doing. Probably more realistic, 8 and over gets you to 140. 7 and over gets you to 128. Somewhere between 7 and 8 and over is what they'd be eyeing here. This is going to be a catch, though, straight down the throat of deep square leg for wicket number 4.
Yeah, we were just talking about an excellent partnership. Well, that has come to an end. Russian Primus bowled a quality first over, Brian, that only conceded 3. And this one on the leg stump, looking for a big flick here is Sujit Nayak. And how many times, take a look at this one, down the leg side, and couldn't help the tempting shot to play a flick that looked pretty well off the bat. But look at that, down the throat of the fielder. And the 4th wicket goes down. It's 4-4-4 on the board. 44 for 4.
Oh, wow. A lot of 4s. Sujit Gowda, the man with the catch in the deep. Really good set of hands on him. And you reminded me in the broadcast last week, Lenny, that Sujit Gowda is now part of the 2,000 runs club. You'll see him with the bat later on, but excellent in the field as usual. So you're in trouble here if you're the Raiders Unlimited. 44 runs on the board and 4 wickets down. No real partnerships of note being built. The first wicket partnership had some urgency to it. 20 runs is what it was worth. But then after that, the second wicket partnership, only 5. 7 added for the third and only 12 added for the fourth. So you're struggling a little bit here. Raiders Unlimited. New batter is in. It's going to be Daniel Lamb. And facing up to a fired-up 𝗂𝗏𝗺𝗻𝗺. What a great delivery. And look at the bounce and carry on this wicket.
Yeah, 𝗂𝗏𝗺𝗻𝗺, he's always an effort bowler, Brian. Would always come in and give you some very strong and stiff spells. He's done so. We saw in the first over. An over that had quite a bit of maybe warm-up pace. I only conceded 3 on that occasion. He's picked up 1. Now he's bowling to the new man, Daniel Lamb.
He's looking quick. Look at this. Quick run out. Ooh, went to the opposite end of where I thought he'd be going. Maybe wanting to catch Snell Patel asleep, but he does get home in time.
Yeah, we saw on the team sheets Daniel Lamb, and there was a UK in bracket by the side of his name. So good chance he's come out of the United Kingdom. And the other big question to ask, is he related to Alan Lamb, who played at the international level?
Well, that would be a question that we should probably try to find out the answer to. Another single here. He said UK. So he's either from the United Kingdom or the University of Kentucky. One of the two. I'm thinking probably the United Kingdom.
Yeah, a couple of players. In fact, 3 players. You talked about Tribe from Jersey.
Cut away into the deep. Should just be a single here. Ball got to the fielder in the deep really quickly. So runs are starting to be hard to come by in the outfield. That's 𝗃𝗓𝗄𝐽 Kakani. This young side, I say young, most of these players are relatively young. 𝗂𝗏𝗺𝗻𝗺 would probably not be offended if I said he's no longer a young man, but still very fit. And I think the leadership that you have from 𝗂𝗏𝗺𝗻𝗺, along with Sujith Gowda, who is on the field as well for the Seattle Thunderbolts, really the makings of a really complete squad. Oh, great Yorker. Bang on target. Look out here. Direct hit there, Lenny. Could have been interesting.
Yeah, the fielding has really been good here from Seattle Thunderbolts as the 9th over comes to a close. They're approaching a half century. 47 for 4.
So Lenny, let's play the projection. Lenny, let's play the projections game as we go back to some left arm orthodox in the form of 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. 47 for 4. 8 and over from here gets you to 135. 7 and over, 124. 9 and over, 146. How do you target something around 8 and over? It feels like 135, 140 is about the sweet spot.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brian. Not forgetting the fact they've lost 4 as Daniel Lamb, the man on strike.
Just looking to build a partnership here. Reverse sweep. Did he give it away? No, he didn't. It's going to land short of the fielder running back from short third, and then he makes a bit of a meal of it, but ends up just conceding a single. Maybe that's how you get to 8 runs and over.
Yeah, brave looking shot. Considering they're batting at 48 for 4, Brian, you don't want to lose a wicket at this stage. And we talked about how good this Seattle Thunderbolts has really bowled.
left arm orthodox doing what he does. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 turning the ball away from the right-handed 𝗃 𝗃𝗃𝗃, 8 from 13. Quicker through the air. That's well played though. Rashawn Primus down in the deep. Oh, it's kind of deep extra cover, cuts that off to 1.
Yeah, so much time remaining here. Brian, you get the feeling if Daniel Lamb and Snell Patel realizes that they've got 63 ball in context of T20 cricket, that's more than half.
That for me is a much better length. That length that draws the batter forward. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, good spell here. 1 for 7 in his 10 deliveries bowled so far, including the big wicket of Unmukhchan earlier. Boy, look at that ball turn, Lenny.
Yeah, very good ball from 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Daniel Lamb looking to go into the onside, spun across him. Good delivery by a man who knows this craft.
Tries the reverse sweep yet again, unsuccessful. Yet another good over from 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. 1 for 7 in his 2 overs. And at the halfway point, we're 49 for 4.
Faisal, we've seen a very good bowling performance here from the Thunderbolts.
In fact, they really made a good comeback, because 20 for 1 after 2 overs. Well, 1.5 overs, they were 20 for none. So the 8.1 overs, they barely got up to 50 now into the 11th over with 4 wickets down.
So Kohli given the ball here. And Shah Faisal, we've seen a variety of everything so far from the Thunderbolts. We saw 2 left-arm seamer. We saw Rashawn Primus with some bit of pace. And now Shashwat Kohli has been given the ball here, right-arm leggy.
Yeah, they've come up with a full repertoire. Spin will play a huge part in these conditions.
Oh, swept away 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 into the hands of the fielder. He puts it down. And what should have been 51 for 5 is still 52 for 4.
Well. Shreyas got himself under the ball. The wind actually helped the ball carry to the fielder easily. And he should be very, very disappointed with himself.
It's a good comeback ball from Shashwat Kohli. Should have picked up the wicket of Snell Patel. Shah Faisal these days with so much T20 cricket, or for that matter any cricket played, you've got to take the chance. And look at this one. Daniel Lamb tees off. It's gone a long way out of the playing area and it's gone for a maximum.
Yeah, this time the wind came to his help. It carried a long way and it actually went over the railing as well. Sweet connection. He had a little go earlier, but this time was a very, very solid connection. A low full toss, you have to say it was there to be hit, but it got hit.
Yeah, a lovely strike from Daniel Lam from a loose delivery from Kohli. And you get the feeling 𝗂𝗧𝗖𝗍 should have picked up one, but that's how the game plays sometimes. And then he may have lost a little bit of concentration. Sometimes they do affect you. But the battle continues. They've taken 4 already. And look at that, top edge. Ball doesn't go nowhere. Fielder does well off the bounce and spin. And in the end, the 11th over comes to a close. 𝗂𝗧𝗖𝗍 is 59 for 4. The ball tugged into the onside. Now this will complete the over. And a very good one here from Shashwat Kohli. Should have picked up a couple of wickets. But the over ends 11 gone is 60 for 4. And 𝗃𝗄𝗽𝗂𝗃𝗃.
Yeah, Karthik really bowled well, and this 𝗃𝗃𝗃 strip will offer help to spinners. So he's a key man here for the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, what he does well, 𝗂𝗧𝗖𝗍, he really varies the pace. A man who relies on a probably drift and of course turn. I saw him turning quite a few balls against Daniel Lam. Kind of surprised that Daniel Lam has gone the risky way to play those reverse shots at a time in which they may not want to lose another wicket as 4 down. Yeah, look at that. Spun across Daniel Lam, who's going for a big one, and this could be by.
Yeah, that once again turned and bounced. If you could land everything right there, you can make life very difficult for the batters. That's why I think Daniel Lam, what he did in the last over, tried to attempt that big switch hit to put him off his line. Even the quicker deliveries will grip and turn at pace. But the thing is, bounce as well for me. The spinners have been able to get the ball through, and wicketkeeper collecting the ball around his waist, standing up.
Yeah, ball driven into the offside. Fielder will come around. And surprising 𝗂𝗧𝗖𝗍 how different eras beginning to show you the technique can be quite different. I remember back in our time. Yeah, I remember back in our time, if you want to bowl left arm spin, they'll tell you probably you'll have to ring the shoulders a little bit to get turn. And again, we see Daniel Lam bringing out this switch hit. Doesn't go too well this time.
I think he'll be disappointed because he got himself into good position and the ball was there too. In the end, just swung at thin air.
Yeah, in the air. Could pick up a couple of runs. Fielder will come in and they come back for a couple of runs. So good looking shot again from Daniel Lam. He's looking for something big. He hasn't been able to really get hold of those big shots from 𝗃𝗄𝗽𝗂𝗃𝗃. 12 gone is 66 for 4. So welcome back, 66 for 4. You're watching the Raiders Unlimited. Batting first here against the Thunderbolts. 𝗂𝗏𝗄𝗃𝗃, another bowling change. 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃 has been given the ball. 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃 given the ball, and he's the 7th bowler to be used here by the Thunderbolts.
Showing they've got plenty of options for the conditions as well. We've seen off spin, we've seen leg spin, left arm spin, left arm pace, now right arm pace. Although with this slightly older ball, the batters would appreciate pace on the ball.
Yeah, we're beginning to see a bit of partnership here between Snell Patel and Daniel Lamb. 22 so far. Oh, he comes down the track. Mid-on comes into play and waits for it. Takes it easy. And that's the end of Snell Patel. 66 for 5.
You talk about the partnership, and it has been taken care of. Good bowling change. Harsh 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃 coming in, making an impact immediately. Looking to go after it, Snell Patel. More elevation than distance, and easily taken in the end. Skipper Patel tried his hardest, but he's now departing for 14, and the Raiders Unlimited 66 for 5.
So, another wicket falls here for Raiders Unlimited. Harsh 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃, a perfect bowling start. 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃, you and Brian Walters talked about the many players who have just completed their 2025 season with the minor league. Many of these players, St. Richards is one of them. Comes in here with 46 balls remaining. Extremely busy this season. Minor league activities crammed in, and then it just takes away. It's so difficult, but huge credit to everyone involved. Got it done just in time before the start of this Atlanta Open. Just the one day. Close the gap between minor league final and the opening of Atlanta Open. Yes, 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃, fittingly the minor league trophy rests right in this region, right in this vicinity. And a proud moment for the Atlanta Fire after so many years.
They've always been there or thereabouts, so that is really a big boost, and you'd feel they richly deserve their championship. I'm going to have to ask Hassan Tariq to give us the trophy tour for this for this weekend probably, or even before that.
It's the ball into the offside. We've seen a very good bowling start here from 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃. He's picked up the wicket of Snell Patel. Heath Richards has come out with Daniel Lamb.
Yeah, at the toss, the skippers were talking about something around 140, even 130, looking at the conditions. Could be a very challenging total. But getting there would require some method from here with half the side back in the hutch. Although these two are very capable batters.
Yeah, Daniel Lamb latches on to this one. It's gone a long way. That's a 6.
That's an odds-on hit with the wind. And long levers. He's a strong man, Daniel Lamb. And 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃 was guilty of providing him with the length. I think it was pace off, but it was right in the slot, and bang. Look at it soar, almost landing onto the highway 411.
Yeah, another lovely shot from Daniel Lamb. And 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃, you look at Daniel Lamb, you wonder why he hits it conventionally so far. Why go unconventional? Look at that, driven into the hands of 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃. He puts it down, and that's the power of Daniel Lamb.
He created the opportunity by correcting his length. That was too full. Lamb couldn't get underneath it and hits it straight back, but 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃 couldn't hold on to it. 7 off the over and a wicket. 13 gone, 73 for 5.
Thirteen gone. We've got 42 balls remaining. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 will continue. And we've seen some hard-hitting knocks from Daniel Lamb. They're going to scamper through for one. Good running between Heath Richards and Daniel Lamb. And Shaw Faisal, Brian Walters and I, we were talking about the projection score, maybe 135, but you get the feeling if Daniel Lamb can stick around long enough, it'll probably go beyond 135. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 has given Daniel Lamb some bit of problems when the ball spins across him. But as we have seen so much in a little short bit of time, Daniel Lamb can hit it long.
He can, and what he's doing is moving around the crease to put 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 off, because if he stays at one position, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is too good with the conditions, the help on offer. So this is good batting from Lamb.
The fact is, Shaw Faisal, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 will finish off here. Very impressive bowling spell from him so far. 1 for 14. Very economy. He got the wicket of Wunmuk Chan earlier on. Look at that, cracked into the offside. We'll get one. Heath Richards hands a strike over to the hard-hitting Daniel Lamb.
You're taking a leaf out of the book of Daniel Lamb, Heath Richards, because he got beaten on the previous delivery, so he came right inside the line of the ball, moving right across his stumps. Just little things to put 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 off. This will be interesting. Lamb on strike.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan when there's a big appeal. Not I'll say it's the umpire, but some anxious moment there for Daniel Lamb, as he was looking to scamper one and then had to turn back. No response from Heath Richards. And we've seen a direct throw from the man into the offside.
Yeah, he was looking to cross over because he was hitting the switch hit, so didn't have the context because Heath Richards wasn't moving at all. And when he looked up, Daniel Lamb, he had to quickly turn around. Umpire Nuruddin made the call, not out. It's blustery here at Paramveer.
So final ball for 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃's spell, and he finishes pretty well. Shaw Faisal, ball down the long on area. 14 gone, and that's the end of 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃's spell. And after 14 is 77 for 5. Come down to the last 36 balls. And you get the feeling Shaw Faisal, Daniel Lamb is batted extremely well so far. 22 of just 19 balls. Couple of sixes for him. He will have to carry the fight here with 36 balls remaining. He along with Heath Richards. 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 has been given another over. Very good over we saw in the previous one from 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃. 1 for 7. And got a very sharp chance of the bat of Daniel Lamb. So he has brought in some bit of mystery on his own.
Yeah, that leg side hit is with the wind, which is very strong. 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 will have to be careful.
Oh, into the onside again. Gone and gone for another maximum. Big shot from Daniel Lamb.
Odds on once again. That is a percentage stroke. And 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃 once again giving the length. Probably another slow delivery. But Lamb was ready. Picked up the length and the pace nice and early. A bit of a retrieving there from Jash Patel, the proud owner of this facility. Have a look at that. Pace on. It just sat up on a length. And look at it soar.
Yeah, sure, Faisal. When you look at Daniel Lamb, stayed low. He's not a very tall man, so he's really got underneath it. And let's talk about the power. He's been hitting them far.
You look at his shoulders and his forearms. He's a strongly built man.
So Daniel Lamb. Oh, look at that. Another poor delivery into the onside. No ground big enough to hold that. And that's another maximum 2 sixes in a row off the bat of Daniel Lamb.
You see the strength of this wind. The top edge carrying over the fence. He didn't get it off the mid of the bat. And 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃 would think he's unlucky, but look at this full toss. And even the top edge goes through. Fielder chasing, but in vain. 2 sixes now, giving some momentum back to the innings. These are crucial runs. And the umpires were having a look about the height of this delivery. I think it was dipping down because it was a slow delivery.
So 12 and 2 balls. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 continues. Daniel Lamb tees off, gone a long way, and that's 3 sixes off the bowling of 𝗂𝗂𝗃.
Yeah, he's targeting that area now, and 𝗂𝗂𝗃 is in trouble. You'd have to question the tactics from the skipper as well, bringing pace on from that end, allowing the right-hander to hit with the wind. And that's 3 in a row, although that was a better length. But look at the movement from Daniel Lamb. He's 1 step ahead of the bowler, and he's winning this battle hands down.
So Daniel Lamb has struck 3 sixes, and this is how it starts for those 6 sixes over. This is how it starts. And he'll be inclined that he can take on 𝗂𝗂𝗃. He's really taken him apart. 18 in 3 balls. And I talked about, when Brian Walters and I were on not too long ago, we talked about a projection in 135. Well, we'll have to recalculate that. Daniel Lamb straight into the mid-on area. Fielder comes in, takes an excellent catch. And the flurry of boundaries comes to an end. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 gets a bit of revenge. 18 in 3 balls. And he has sent Daniel Lamb packing.
Well, you got to reassess your projected total once again, because that flurry has ended. 40 of 22 deliveries from Daniel Lamb. He really played a wonderful knock, and in this seemingly low-scoring encounter, that could still prove the difference. The length was key here from 𝗂𝗂𝗃. Have a look at that. He went full, didn't allow Lamb to get underneath it, and despite his strong forearms, he couldn't get the elevation or the distance to get it over the head of the fielder. And last laugh for 𝗂𝗃, but you saw him kicking the turf. He wasn't very happy.
Yeah, we've seen a fine knock from Daniel Lamb, top scorer so far. Come to an end, but not after he inflicted some telling blows from 𝗂𝗂𝗃 in this over. So new man comes to the middle. And we've got 32 balls here, Shaw Faisal, but certainly a big knock from Daniel Lamb, one that was quite an enterprising one while it lasted. And he really carried the momentum for the Raiders Unlimited.
Yeah, he did. He did. Where every batter has really struggled, he made 40 of just 22.
So 𝗵𝗺𝗃 comes to the middle. We know he's a fine fast bowler. With 32 balls remaining, can he up the momentum still? 18 runs in this over from 𝗂𝗂𝗃. Yeah, stroked into the offside and gives Heath Richards the strike. And now Heath Richards will have to pick things up. Shaw Faisal with 31 balls remaining. It's 96 for 6.
Yeah, Heath Richards has seen the big hitting. He's been in there for 5 deliveries, so still relatively new.
Yeah, we've seen an over that has gone for 19 from 𝗂𝗂𝗃. So a very good one for the Unlimited. They've got 30 balls after this one to play with. And Heath Richards, the man on strike. Yeah, into the offside. Can't score, so that will complete 15. And after 15, it's 96 for the loss of 6.
commentary box. Brian Walters settling in. That smile is never too far away, followed by the laughter. Welcome back, Brian Walters.
I greeted Corny Dry in the middle of the pitch this morning, and he said, "Brian, I could hear you from the parking lot."
Do you think I'm surprised? I'm not. Sometimes I wonder, do you need mic, Brian? I'll tell you something after this ball as well. Let you recover and settle. Lakshmikant with the fresh over. That previous over was action-packed. I just saw the owners of Clarion Eagles, the champions from last year. Their owners were asking specifically about you. Is Brian here? So it means you haven't been laughing hard enough because they're playing just right behind us. So
Clearly, I need to work on that. Oh, my goodness. No, it's a different game from the one I left 5 overs ago, Shah Faisal. The projected score initially, at least when I left, the projected score was around 114. Projection was 125, which doesn't sound like a lot, but
wickets are key. Wicket will change the complexion of the game. But you feel that the assault that Daniel Lamb had on Kakani, 4 sixes altogether, 3 in 1 over, that has really given some momentum back. And in a low-scoring encounter, over like this, a momentum shift carrying for the last 4 or 5 overs could have been crucial, but that wicket fell, and then swing and a miss will mean a couple more runs, buys though. Crucial runs as Breeders Unlimited. They're moving closer to that magical 100 mark.
definitely buys. I don't think you care very much how the runs come at this stage.
Not at all.
Again, you want to push for something around the 125, 130 mark. And you really, things have slowed down so much after the loss of Daniel Lamb. From here, you'd have to go at 7 and over to get to 129. That is going to be difficult. End of over number 16, 101 for 6.
And like we saw the last 2 deliveries of the last over, still plenty happening for the bowlers. It's a tricky 4 overs for both sides here. You could feel that the game is right on the edge for both of them. And whoever takes the momentum into the break of innings probably could find it to their help.
It is going to take some doing to get up to 130. Let's have the magic number be around 130. 130 is just over 7 runs and over. 7 runs and over is achievable if you have 4 or 3 wickets down. It's a little bit less achievable when you have to be careful to not get bowled out. And the bowling at the death is going to be strong. 𝗂𝗎 still has 1 over left. Chris Catre has still 3 overs left. So it's going to be difficult to score off of these bowlers at the death.
Full toss put away. Will come back for the second. Krish has been guilty of bowling the odd full toss in his spell, in his first over as well, and starts off this spell with a full toss. You talk about 130, and I'm going to put you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Which side would you rather be 130 at the halfway stage? You stick with the batting team with the runs on board, or you feel like the chasing team can get to there?
I think I am of the same mind as the captain of the Thunderbolts when he said that batting will get easier later in the day. Maybe a slight bit of moisture in the morning. I think the conditions get a little bit better in the afternoon. Maybe not the afternoon, but a couple hours down the road. So for me, as long as the score that we're chasing is not around 140 or above, I'd be comfortable chasing here.
Knocked him over. The Yorker, a dipping Yorker at that. And Abhishek had no answers for that. Wickets will make it very difficult for the Unlimited to get up to that 130.
Full and straight is the name of the game. That's exactly what you've gotten here from 𝗚𝗃 𝗏𝗃. You miss, I hit. And in some ways, you might think that the batter kind of yorked himself because he was going forward, looking to step down the track, and ended up just playing over that full delivery. So that is wicket number 7. Things get much more difficult from here. Talked about the fact that it's going to be difficult to score with any momentum going toward the end of the innings, and I think you'll see evidence of that here.
Yeah, this good illustration, that last replay, that how he advanced and got himself yorked. And this saying will never get old. You miss, I hit.
Yes, sir.
Who came with that saying? The first time that I heard from, I guess, do you think of who came with it?
I cannot think of it, but you're about to tell me, aren't you?
Michael Holding.
I've heard of that guy.
Yes, the man showed it to the world first before he came up with the saying.
He did absolutely show it to the world first. Michael Holding, I could wax poetic on him for hours if you allowed me to. My favorite fast bowler growing up. Favorite cricketer growing up, believe it or not. One Alvin Kalicharan.
Oh, not too far from here. Alvin Kalicharan had been involved in cricket in these parts. Talk about Michael Holding after this ball. This one has been carved away. Width was on offer, but the placement will make sure that they come back for the second run. Talk about Michael Holding as the fast bowler. What about the Michael Holding as a commentator? Absolute love to listen to him.
He is one of those who is so good, or was so good behind the mic, that it almost made you forget how good he was on the field of play. And that also put somebody like an Ian Bishop into that same category.
Absolutely. Well, despite the loss of the wicket, runs have come in this over. 7 of them so far. So that's the 7 in the over that you were asking for.
You definitely need the 7, but with one more to go here, boy, you'd like a bonus of some sort. Maybe one going down the leg side that can help over short, fine leg. But for the most part, and I say short, fine leg, my apologies, I think that it's going to be difficult to score in that direction with the ball going toward the western side of the ground.
Good length once again. Richards was winding up for that big swing, but no elevation, no length. Excellent finish to the over, but still 8 of the over and a wicket. 17 gone, 109 for 7.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and Tariq Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket, and T Sports.
Faisal. Nothing else of substance. No two batters able to put together in a partnership of note.
Yeah, and that generally shows that how the bowling team has dominated. But if you keep the conditions in context, the Unlimited still have an opportunity, especially with Richards in.
It's interesting. The fact that 𝗂𝗃 Lakshmikant is bowling his final over here in over number 18 tells you the confidence that they have in the spin attack. Saw a great spell from Karthik Gatipale. Lakshmikant doing the same thing here.
What they've done well is the calculation is good, because although there are right-handers, but right-handers hitting into a very strong wind against the off-spinner. That hit is a lot difficult to clear the fence. And with Lakshmikant also bowling very good areas and getting help from the pitch. Even with the right-handers, the kind of suitable matchup, still not easy to get him away for big hit on that onside.
That is the definition of an optimistic appeal. That would have bounced over an entirely different set of stumps, where the stumps stacked on top of each other.
Well, got overexcited with that, but dot ball still second best result. It's in the gap. They're running hard. Richards is quick, but decides against it.
Yeah, I don't think I have seen very much in terms of pushing the batter, pushing your partner to come back for that second run. The coaches will say sprint the first one hard. I don't see a lot of evidence of that so far.
He's gone straight up. Fielder under it. Takes it. Heath Richards was trying to get on with it. He had to, but he's perished in the cause. 8 down now for the Raiders Unlimited.
That is the captain, 𝗂𝗧 𝗂𝗃𝗍. It is not an easy catch. That ball went high in the air. You talked about the wind, so it's swirling, and that went miles. That would have come down with icicles on it. But he judged it to perfection, 𝗂𝗧 𝗂𝗃𝗍, and then took it just right at chest level, right where the coaches tell you you need to take those catches. Excellent piece of work, and the 8th wicket down. And things get that much more difficult now. You're seeing the imposing figure of, I believe that is 𝗂𝗍𝗃𝗍 coming to the wicket. 𝗂𝗍𝗃𝗍, who is an excellent bowler, big lower order hitter, but you want him coming in maybe with 4 wickets down, maybe asking him to just swing for the fences as opposed to here needing to bat through the innings.
Really surprised to see him bat so far low down the order. In his days at Atlanta Fire, I remember he's batted as high as number 6. So that also shows the depth in batting for the Raiders Unlimited, although he's another one of those players who likes pace on the ball. He's clever as well. Plays the ball in the gap, runs hard. Doesn't take him a few steps to cover the length of the pitch. He came back very comfortably.
Easily 4 steps from one end of the pitch to the other.
5 of the over. 1-1-3 for 8. You may see him with 1-1-3 for 8. At Raider Unlimited are out of the game, but under the conditions they are not. 11 very, very important deliveries left. And that could well prove the difference between the two teams. Raiders Unlimited, their bowling is also pretty good. Danish Canarias in their lineup. 𝗂𝗍𝗃𝗍, of course, will take the new ball.
This is excellent death bowling. Full and straight. The worst thing that can happen is that it's knocked down the ground for a single. And you're not going to hurt yourself under those circumstances. The last 10 coming up, 114 on the board. So you go run a ball to get to 124, you'll accept 124. Even 8 and over gets you to 127, 131 if you go 10 and over. So on balance, the bowling side is really on top of the game.
One leg up in the ring. Another beautifully executed delivery. Right in the block hole. Can't do much with that. Single is the best that 𝗂𝗍𝗃𝗍 could do. I was thinking fine leg up in the ring. I've seen 𝗂𝗍𝗃𝗍 attempt those scoops before. Although you think he's quite tall.
Sure.
Getting low down To get that ball on the half volley would be a problem, but that's the option, though.
Oh, you're not scooping a ball that's pitching on the popping crease. That's what he was trying to do there, Daniel. And I'll tell you, you want to essentially create as many ways as you can to score runs. But by definition, it's a premeditated shot. So when it comes off, it looks wonderful. If it doesn't come off, then not quite so much.
Yeah, this is wonderful from 𝗚𝗃𝗍, though, because like we saw a few overs ago, he's bowling to where the batters are hitting into the wind on the onside, but he hasn't given them any length to work with. Full toss, there was an opportunity. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 smashed it, and it burst through the hand of the fielder. And that is the boundary for the over that the Unlimited would have been looking for. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 comes up with one.
That was smashed very hard. Looking for the Yorker, over pitching it this time. So it ends up being a low full toss. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 with that bullet of a shot into the outfield. A great effort down there on the boundary, by the way. He initially fielded it or stopped it from going over. Not quite able to keep it from trickling over after the ricochet.
That was full toss. Back live again. And back on his immaculate length as well. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 was disappointed, but there's nothing that he could have done with that. That boundary in the over, though, makes it 8 in the over for the Unlimited. 19 gone, 1 to go. 121 for 8. $121. 130 still on the card. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 come up with a boundary. Daniel with him. 8 wickets down. If you look at the field again, fine leg is up in the ring. Third is up in the ring as well. Oh, 𝗂𝗍𝗃 would be disappointed. But he got done by the lack of pace on that delivery.
That was the length that is quote-unquote scoopable. You can get onto those, but you're exactly right. He went pace off 𝗖𝗓𝐷𝐷𝐶 in his last over here. Really good spell from 𝗖𝗓𝐷𝐷𝐶. 1 for 17, and most of those 17 came from his first spell when Abhinav was taking him apart. He's done really well to come back, and a good exhibition of bowling at the death, both from 𝗖𝗓𝐷𝐷𝐶 and 𝗚𝗃𝗍𝗃.
They've changed the field now. Fine leg has gone back. What is the length that he's going to bowl now? He got fine leg. Mid off, mid on, back on the fence, mid wicket. Square leg is up in the ring. Bowls it wide. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 could barely lay bat on it. This is good bowling from 𝗖𝗓𝐷𝐷𝐶.
It is good bowling. Now, the reason why you drop fine leg back is because 𝗂𝗍𝗃 is going to try to play that scoop shot. You want to protect that boundary deep. But having dropped fine leg back, you need to bring someone else in. So that's mid-off inside the circle. And I think you'll see sort of an interesting passage of play there.
Beautifully bowled, chance. And the finger's gone up. Good bit of work there from wicketkeeper. Rahul Jariwala was ready and scores a direct hit. But before that, it was a fantastic delivery. Daniel had no answers. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 still tried to get to the strike, but failed.
You cannot bowl a better Yorker than this. This is the reason why you call Yorkers toe crushers. This ball is actually pitching on the toe of Daniel Babb, and that's why he loses his balance and falls over. And then 𝗂𝗍𝗃, you don't mind him trying to steal a bye at this stage of the innings. And in fact, it would have been a leg bye had it been successful. But no chance of being able to get past the accurate throw of Rahul Jariwala, knocking the stumps down just a few feet in front of him, and that is wicket number 9. 122 on the board, and you're going to have trouble getting to that 130 mark here.
Here with last wicket standing, 𝗏𝗫𝗫𝗫 batting at number 11.
𝗏𝗫𝗫𝗫 has the scoop shot in his repertoire. I would not be surprised if he stays on strike. Maybe he doesn't do it the very first ball here, but eventually, with fine leg, very, very fine, he might try to access that area behind square on the leg side.
Leading edge goes through the gap. Nosh is quite quick, will come back for the second. Handy runs, no matter how they come.
Oh, you'll take all the runs at this stage that you can get. I would predict if 𝗏𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫 is on strike for the last ball of the innings, he will try a scoop shot. He's one who is very wily and canny and is able to get the ball in the most sort of unconventional of circumstances.
He's placed it beautifully, waited for it very, very nicely, and just stroked it away into the gap. And that is a very, very handy boundary.
That, did you say 𝗏𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫 is batting at number 11? That shot is the shot of a number 3 batter. Just riding the bounce, not any big flourish, just opening the face, getting it fine of the fielder backward point, and racing away for 4. Top-notch shots. Talk about the fact that the outfield is thick in that direction also. So all of that adds up to me to a brilliant shot.
Last ball coming up. Low full toss. He'll run hard. It is in the gap. And a slight fumble will make sure that they get there comfortably and they get to that 130, the magical number.
Well, they finally get there. Took some doing and a good flourish at the end. A little bit of a cameo from 𝗏𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫, the long-serving USA left-arm orthodox, but they needed him today for his right-handed bat. And he does well. 9 runs coming from that last over. Remember that over started very, very cheaply, if you will, but just they end up with a flourish. 8 runs coming from the last 3 balls of that over to end at that 130.
Okay, I think we're going for
Well, there you go. The batting card dominated by Daniel Lamb. 40 of 23 deliveries. A little cameo up top from Abhinav, who got 18 of 11, all coming in boundaries. 3 4s and 1 6 for Abhinav. Snell Patel, the only other batter to get into the double figures. But that knock from Daniel Lamb and a little cameo towards the end by 𝗏𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫 and 𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫 meant that the Raiders Unlimited have got up to 130.
I think the bowlers are excellent. 𝗏𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫𝗫 and Mayura Lakshmikant I would like to highlight in particular. Look at those economy rates. 1 wicket each. Held things down in the middle. Got a little bit ragged towards the back end. But on balance, I think a good bowling effort to restrict them to 130.
7 extras as well, so they were largely pretty disciplined. The bowlers and the fielders, their effort in the field was good. Their catching under high swirling winds also was pretty impressive. There's an odd drop there, but generally pretty good. And talk about the innings break. The big roller is out. And if you think about the captains at the toss, what they suggested, I think everyone should be pretty happy going into the halfway stage of the innings. The star man was Daniel Lamb, who came up with those 3 sixes of Harsh Kakani in 1 over. And our colleague, Lenny Achabar, is ready to have a little chat with him. Over to you, Lenny.
Thank you very much, Shaw Faisal and Brian Walters. I've got the big man here, Daniel Lamb, swashbuckling knack. And first of all, Daniel, before you talk about that performance today, let's talk about your time in the States over the years.
Yeah, I've been here 3 times previously. Played in the Atlanta Open back when it was on the mat, and I've also played in the US Open in Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Okay, thank you very much. So you've seen the conditions here in the States. Talk to us about your batting performance today. I know that the pitch was a little bit difficult for you.
Yeah, it was a tricky wicket. Seems slightly tacky. Spin was really difficult to hit, and that's why I just tried to put my foot down against the seam and try and take it on. It seemed like hitting the ball over the fence was easier than knocking ones, so I just tried to hit the ball as hard as I could, and today was sort of my day.
Yeah, well, 130 at the end of your 20 over. What do you think about 130 on the board?
I'd have liked 140, but I do think it is defendable. It's not going to be an easy chase, so hopefully we bowl well. We've got a lot of spinners, a lot of seamers that bowl pace off, cutters into the pitch, so hopefully we make it as hard as we can for them.
So 3 sixes in that over. Were you thinking of 6 sixes?
Yes.
All right, so there you have it, folks. Daniel Lamb, a big knock for him today, and we'll see with 130 on the boards for the Raiders Unlimited. Stay tuned for the reply.
Thank you.
So Daniel Lamb is the man who, I think, single-handedly dragged the Raiders Unlimited to a decent total. Just take a look at a few of these highlights. 𝗵𝗡 𝗂𝗃𝗃 with a really fast start at the beginning. I think he took the bowling to task, got an edge on that one. And for the most part, 𝗁𝗏𝗂𝗃, an aggressive start from 𝗵𝗡 𝗂𝗃𝗃. But this one, he picks out mid-on, straight down his throat.
Yeah, and after that, batting got difficult. 𝗂𝗃𝗃, the free-flowing 𝗂𝗃𝗃, found it hard. And the batters came and went. Spin really played a part. 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗃 bowled a magnificent spell.
My goodness, yes. That one, the big wicket of 𝗂𝗃𝗃, straight to him in the covers. And that obviously always makes a big difference. This is Skyer. And it stays in the air for a really long time, but a pretty simple catch in the end. And then Roshan Primus on the pads here and picking out deep mid-wicket. They never really got the chance to build any partnerships, as we were saying earlier, 𝗁𝗏𝗂𝗃.
Again, those wickets, they came thick and fast in the middle. They were reduced to 44 for 4 and then, 95 for 6. So, few hits started to come in between, but mostly miss hits. And that middle phase of the innings, it all changed though when Daniel Lamb came. He was threatening to hit it to highway 411 on a couple of occasions.
That ball missed highway 411 by about 5 yards. And he absolutely looked the part while he was there. Finally goes for a cameo, that one flying over deep backward square leg. But I think he saw a really good innings that was eventually ended as that one, again, a ball flying well over the top of the fence. And just look at that Yorker. We talked about that Yorker earlier, and then a brilliant piece of work from Rahul Jariwala. Excellent effort in the field.
That was pretty much the last section. Just before a little cameo there from Anosh Kenjige. Well, it's time for a short break here. 131 will be the requirement for Seattle Thunderbolt when they come back for the run chase. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back with the run chase in a few minutes.
Here with 𝗂𝗃𝗃 𝗵𝗃𝗃, first Atlanta Open. Tell me how you're feeling about it.
Oh, I'm very excited. As you said, it was the first. It was my second Open tournament ever, so I'm buzzing to be here. Looks a very good facility, and yeah, hoping to contribute to team's win today.
Hey, you mentioned first time in this facility. What have you made of the fields and the pitches and the conditions?
Oh no, it looks amazing. I think apart from this, the only sort of complex I've seen like this is Prairie View in Houston. So it's amazing to see grounds like this in the East Coast where there's a lot of cricket, as people know.
A tremendous minor league for you. Was one of the leading wicket takers throughout the season. How are you looking to carry that form into this week?
Oh, no, I'm just hoping to do what I like to do best and just hit my areas. I don't look too much on the outcomes. I think that'll take care of itself. But no, I just want to put my ball in the right areas and yeah, just hopefully continue what I've been doing in my league.
Thank you so much for your time and good luck today.
Thank you so much. Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃𝗃 Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Atlanta Fire, star-studded Atlanta Fire, one of the favorites.
And indeed, but that one is smack.
Oh, this one is locked into the onside, a slow short ball.
Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃𝗃 Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
Very warm welcome back to 𝗃𝗃 Sports Complex. A very quick turnaround. And we are all in readiness for the run chase. Rahul Jariwala is in. Sujit Gowda, his partner, two formidable batters. Conditions are very difficult for batting and it will be an exciting run chase. On the face of it, you'd think 130 is not that many, but conditions have been tough. Although the sun is trying to break through, has been a coolish morning here at 𝗃𝗃 Sports Complex. As I speak, the sun has come out and there was a roller out in the middle as well in mid-innings break. That meant that what the skipper hoped at the toss for the Thunderbolts, that batting would become easier second time around. He will be hoping for any little help because the bowling is not going to make it easy for him. Nosh Kenjige. Here we go. First ball slightly short. It's onto that back foot and puts it away for a single. Rahul Jariwala off the mark. Alongside me in the comm box is Lenny Achaibar, scrambling around with his paperwork. Blustery breeze, not making it easy for anyone. Welcome back, Lenny.
Yeah, thank you, 𝗃𝗃 Faisal. Two of the best in the business out in the middle. Couple of good balls there from Kenjige. Nothing wrong with a start of a spell that has only conceded 1 in 2 balls.
quicker through the air. Still turn with the new ball. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 in their lineup, but they've given the first over to 𝗏𝗏 𝗫𝗫𝐜. That is a nice stroke. Very well controlled, and it goes over the boundary. Into out. Always a very, very pleasing stroke.
Yeah, good looking shot from Rahul Jariwala. He's a type of player that would want to score very quickly. And we've seen a tidy start from 𝗫𝗫𝐜 up until that point. Good looking shot into the offside.
And not a bad delivery at all, but again the challenge is that with no protection on the offside, it's very strong breeze makes it favorable for the batters. Oh, this one is fumbled. The wicketkeeper, he still got it, but the finger's gone up. 𝗫𝗏, I think it is, behind the stumps, and that is a big wicket. Rahul Jariwala once again looking to go through that offside, got the edge, and on the second attempt, 𝗫𝗏 got him.
Yeah, we saw earlier on from Kartik Gatapali, so much turn on off on this pitch, simply beaten by the turn of the ball. And the cunningness of 𝗏𝗏 𝗫𝗫𝐜, he gets the edge. 𝗫𝗏 does make a very good rebound. And in the end, Jariwala is gone. They've lost an early one, 5 for 1.
Shreyas Chitnani, the new man in, batting at number 3. Defending a lowish total. An early wicket does really help the fielding side.
Yeah, Shaw Faisal, the experience of 𝗫𝗫𝐜 has struck in the first over. And prior to the ball that dismissed Jariwala, we saw a lovely shot over the infield. And we talked about how good Jariwala's been. He's a quick scoring batter, so to see the back of him, I'm pretty sure that the Raiders are unlimited. But like the way things are in the first over, they have lost 1 with just 5 runs on the board. Chitnani comes to the middle.
Brings out the forward defense to another good delivery. And that is a good start from 𝗏𝗏 𝗫𝗫𝐜. Thunderbolts after the first over, it's 5 for 1. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 looks like he will take up the attack. He's played a lot of cricket in these parts, first at the Atlanta cricket fields and then here at Pparampir, being part of the Atlanta Fire from the inception of minor league, even the exhibition season he was there. This is his first season away from Atlanta. Always loves to bowl from that far end. This is his preferred end. Looks like likes running coming up the hill.
Yeah, Shaw Faisal, you talked about his time with the Fire, and it's the year that he's not with the Fire. They brought the trophy home. But I've seen quite a few of 𝗂𝗍𝗃 the last few months. These days, plies his trade with the Philadelphians in the East, and he comes in here. And the ball outside the off stump, left alone by Sujit Gowda.
He'll bowl a length, and he gets plenty of bounce because he's so tall. We did see earlier on with the new ball, the Thunderbolts bowlers also were able to get the ball through, although it didn't last very long. 𝗂𝗍𝗃 probably will be the quickest bowler on show today on this field for this morning game. So keep an eye on that pace and see how he gets it through to wicketkeeper 𝗫𝗏.
Yeah, slower ball. Then we'll have to bring out the speed gun because we did see Roshan Primus bowled a couple of stiff overs, and then he came off the field, and I wonder why he didn't go back onto the field. In fact, he never bowled after his couple of overs.
Yeah, he looked ginger in the field as well. Like we mentioned with me and Brian earlier on, it's been a coolish morning. The weather is changing in this part of the world, so some of these players coming out and starting out cold, especially if you're at the age of Primus, the body does take a little longer to warm up. That has hit him in the ribs. Ouch. He's down for the count. Have to see a replay to see if it was a slow delivery or a cutter, because it jagged back in. And like I said, the bounce, Cornet will always get that bounce. There we go. We can have a look here. Probably not. We may.
Yeah, was committed to play on the front foot and then struck in the midsection.
The replay from behind.
So I hope he's fine. So 𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃. And now, well, thankfully he's back on his feet, so that's good news. But struck in the front and took a telling blow from a man who doesn't bowl slow at all. And with the leather 𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃, that will be painful.
Yeah, I was having a little chat with him before the game, and one thing with 𝗂𝗍𝗃, his strength is he assesses the conditions, and he had a fair idea of how to go on this pitch. Going by the first 3 deliveries, he's really putting 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃 in trouble, and mind you, 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃 is one of the best around, so if you can trouble him, means that you're doing pretty well.
You're right on that, 𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃. He's not one of the best around. He is the best around. Statistically, when you look at, for example, minor league record, career runs over 2,000. I think the closest man in that area is Shahan Jayasuriya, but 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃 stands at the top of that table. And by no means that's an easy feat.
Yeah, because quite a few of top-class cricketers have featured in minor league, so to top that list, like you said, statistically, he's the best. There's quite a few good ones around, so I'll still stick to my one of the best, because I'm a huge admirer of some of the other batters in minor league as well. Oh, he steps away and smashes it back at 𝗂𝗍𝗃𝗍𝗃, who had to take evasive action. That is a good counter-attack from 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃.
Yeah, lovely comeback shot from 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃. We talked about one of the best in the business. And look at that. Just carrying the fight back to 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃 after being struck in the midsection the previous ball. And that's a lovely strike straight down the ground. This is a man of class, a man who has amassed a lot of runs. It's 9 for 1 in the second over, bowled by 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃.
Oh, he's hit him again. I think we'll have another hold up in play. This time probably he went through his stroke quite early and got hit on the helmet. I made it. Umpires should be converging on checking with the concussion protocols. In fact, it hit him on the shoulder. He did swung around too soon. The ball never arrived.
Yeah, slower ball from 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃, and 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍𝗃𝗍 well into the pull shot. May have taken him on the shoulder, but it died. It's one of those things that sometimes, 𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃, you see that comes off the shoulder, goes to the keeper, big appeal, and sometimes the umpires will probably give those decisions out. So it's a good thing that it died on its way through to the keeper.
Fuller length knocks it into the gap on the onside rather, for a single. Closes out. No, just one to go still. No, in fact it is a close of over number 2. Thunderbolts 10 for 1. 𝗂𝗫𝗅𝗂 drops it on a length, little bit of turn. This could be a good contest between two very skillful players.
Yeah, two of the best in the business. We saw earlier on the turn and the spin that 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗂𝗽 got. That'll be very encouraging sign for 𝗂𝗫𝗅𝗂, one of the best in the business on the bowling side, Shaw Faisal.
Yeah, this is going to be a tight run. You have a feeling the first game of Atlanta Open, there's nothing much in it.
Yeah, and we talked with Daniel Lamb during the halftime interview, and he talked about the pitch, not one of the best yet to really strike the ball.
Edgy, it will run away downhill. It may just have enough legs. Not quite, not quite. Daniel Bob gets to the ball. They have to see a bit sluggish running there. They only crossed over for 2, and that ball went almost to the fence.
Yeah, Chitneni gets off the mark and need 180 from 104. Still asking at about 7 runs and over, Shaw Faisal. They've lost 1 so far.
Short delivery, quicker through the air, still plenty of grip there. And as a batter, you cannot just line it up if you see that much of help from the pitch. That is where we thought that 130 could be challenging, and 𝗂𝗫𝗅𝗂𝗃 is making sure he's making it difficult for the batters. Nicely waited for it. That is very skillful batting. Although it's just a single, but he waited for the ball to turn and then knocks it into the gap to close out. Over number 3, it's 14 for 1. One over for 𝗂𝗫𝗅𝗧. Brave bowler to bowl with pace on from that side with the aid of the right-handers hitting into the wind. But now left arm spin, more left arm spin, and that is a good move. Not only in terms of the matchup, but also in terms of the breeze as well.
Yeah, Daniel Bob comes into the attack here, and when I saw him there, Shaw Faisal, reminds me of Kareem Agor.
Yeah, we talk about left-arm spinners in this country, and Kareem Agor has kind of moved on now.
Yeah, a couple of good balls into the offside, but Shaw Faisal, when you look at the chase here, 117 from 100 balls is pretty much a knock it into open spaces game.
In theory, yes, but these modern-day batters.
Yeah, it's the toughest thing for them to do, or to get adjusted to.
Yeah, the art of taking singles and knocking the balls into the gap. It's kind of getting out of the game with the T20 scores soaring up above 300. 200 seems to be a regulation these days. We talk about 260s, 280s, and now 300 has also been achieved. So the art of maneuvering the ball into the gaps for 1s and 2s, it's kind of vanishing. Plenty of drift in the air into the right-hander, cramping him for space.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Raiders Unlimited would want to price out this wicket here, Shaw Faisal, Sajid Gowda. How many times he's been so difficult to dislodge.
That's that single that we were talking about, but it took him 4 deliveries to do that.
And the fact is, when you look at this Raiders Unlimited squad, they're not a fly-by-night team. In fact, in 2023, they got into the final with the Kingsmen. And we know the strength of Kingsmen. No shame losing to a team of that caliber. And so they got into that final in 2023.
He struck firmly. It was aerial, but in the gap and hits the fence. That is a much-needed boundary for the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, that's the danger of this partnership. While so much emphasis is placed on Sujit Gowda, Shreyas Chetnini, he's a quality player. And look at this. It's a lovely shot. Just stand and deliver over the offside, realizing that there's still 2 more overs for the power play. 4 gone is 20 for 1. 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃 continues. Oh, lofted shot. Gone a long way from Sujit Gowda. And that is gone for a massive maximum.
Well, a boundary in the previous over. Now a 6 to start off over number 5. A bit of momentum into the innings. That was too full. And Sujit Gowda, who's been there for 12 deliveries, probably getting used to what he needs to do on this pitch. That was a super strike.
And we talked about not too long ago about rotating strike and try to get up to 105 from 94 balls, which is essentially just over on a ball. But Sujit Gowda has all the shots in the book, falls short of corner dry. A couple of good comeback balls there from 𝗂𝗃𝗃.
Here with the required run rate hovering around 6 and 7, 6 of the first delivery. As a batter, you'd feel like job is done for the over. Still be on the lookout for runs, but not be adventurous. This is short, fast hands through the ball. Terrific stroke. Wasn't really a long hop, and it was quicker. But the footwork was superb, and the bat speed was even better. That is a sensational stroke.
So difficult to bowl to a classy player. You bowl full up, he hits you out of the park. Look at that. Pulled into the onside. He knows where the fielders are. And just finding the gaps. Powerful shot. Another 4 off the bat of Sujit Gowda. Quickly up to 30 for 1.
That's a ripper. 𝗂𝗃𝗃 with a good reply. The damage is done for the over. All Sujit Gowda needs to do is just to stay there and pick up whatever is on offer. Don't go looking. Oh, bowled him through the gap. That came in with the arm, and Sujit Gowda had no answers for that.
A big strike here from 𝗂𝗃𝗃. Did something right to get Gowda to come forward looking for the ball. And we talked about the turn on offer on this wicket here. And the experience of 𝗂𝗃𝗃 has taken the middle stump, I think, top of middle. And the big wicket of Sujit Gowda goes. Take a look at this. 𝗂𝗃𝗃, one of the best in the business. And he got Gowda to reach forward on the delivery, a lot of turn. And 𝗂𝗃𝗃 gets the last laugh. It's 30 for 2. Gowda gone.
Talk about top of middle. It knocked back the middle stump and hit it right at the top. That was a cracking delivery. Cricket of the highest order in the previous over. 2 sensational strokes from Sujit Gowda, then 𝗂𝗃𝗃 with the answer. And they needed it. 30 for 2 after 5 as 𝗬𝗍𝗂𝐴 𝗂𝗏 is taking a well-earned break and settling in the comm box. Alongside me is once again Brian Walters. Welcome back, Brian.
Shah Faisal, if you said to 𝗏𝗃𝗃 𝗀𝗃𝗃, you will concede a 4 and a 6 off statistically, as Lenny said, the best batter in the history of minor leagues. But in exchange for that 4 and the 6, you'll take his wicket. He will take that exchange every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So that, for me, is an excellent, excellent spell by 𝗏𝗃. He's a very wily, canny bowler. He has all the tricks in the book, and he did what he needed to do to get his team, in my mind, just a nose ahead in this race that is probably going to come down to the last over.
It looks like a close battle, but you're absolutely right, because the class that Sujit Gowda showed in that very over, that really was looking ominous for the Raiders Unlimited. But now it's an even keel, and I tend to agree with you, Brian. They've got their noses just in front, only just, but yeah, that wicket was huge.
Talking left-arm pace, Abhishek Paratkar led the minor leagues in wickets this year. That is why you can see evidence of it there. We talked about it earlier. The left armer over the wicket to the right-hander, creating that angle going across Shreyas Chiteni. And for me, that is the stock ball that is bowled from Abhishek Paratkar. He does that to build pressure. And if he gets a pretty, let's call it, miserly over here, he can really have this team in trouble.
The one thing that I like more than anything else on a cricket pitch is the bounce. This one was dying on the way, but the previous one, the wicketkeeper was taking it above his waist. And if you have that, that really makes for good viewing. Great start from Paratkar. Look at the angle that he creates.
Thing of beauty.
Absolutely.
And plus, he didn't necessarily cut that ball, but it moved off the seam away from the right-handed batter, which exacerbates that angle even more.
Well, he decided to give the charge. Didn't come off the middle, but will earn him runs. Excellent work in the deep. Daniel Lamb can't do no wrong today.
Tell you what, he just muscled that. Not timed well. It was all power. Actually hit relatively high on the bat, above the sweet spot, but he just muscles it down the ground. I'll tell you, off the bat, I didn't think that that would have gone as far as it did. Doing well in the deep to limit that to 2 runs, Daniel Lamb.
Well bowled. That is very nicely bowled. Drawing the batter onto that front foot. The length, the angle, everything good. You talk about that miserly over that he thought Paratkar should bowl and can bowl and would put pressure back on the Thunderbolts. 4 deliveries, just the 2 runs. What is Shreyas thinking? 10 of 13. Just 2 deliveries to go before the power play ends as well. Direct hit. Oh, it has struck the stumps. 𝗏𝗃𝗃 𝗀𝗃𝗃. He's a live wire in the field.
You cannot run on 𝗏𝗃𝗃 𝗀𝗃𝗃. Yes, this is safe. The batter gets there in time, but he is deadly accurate from that spot. Over the years, we've seen him do that time and time again. And I'll tell you what, this is not out, but it immediately goes into the mind of both of these batters. Maybe we don't want to pick on that guy. Maybe that what we thought was a quick single is one that we should just have it be a dot ball, because you don't want to run the risk of being run out. In a close game like this, that type of fielding makes such a difference.
It does, and we started that debate about the left-arm spinners and how much good quality they are. And one thing about those spinners is that they're 3-dimensional cricketers as well. Talk about Hassan Khan. He's an absolute wire in the field with the bat, with the ball. 𝗏𝗃𝗃 𝗀𝗃𝗃. I mean, you see that bit of fielding, the way he swooped at the ball and fires it in. So accurate. Inside edge on another day. It could have gone on to that off stump. 3 of the over power play done. 33 for 2.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, let's look big picture here. As you see more left arm spin back coming into the equation. Daniel Babb about to bowl his next over. 7 runs and over is the required rate. The innings started with the required rate being 6.55, so it has increased. And I'll tell you, having lost 2 top order wickets, yes, there's batting still to come, but I think you've seen that scoring is not going to be as fluid and as easy as you might expect. So the Seattle Thunderbolts have their backs against the wall here. A really good bowling effort so far for Raiders Unlimited.
It is, yeah, but with 7 runs and over, Brian, I don't think there's much in it, because if you cast your mind back to that first innings, they lost 3 overs. Despite being 7 down, the Raiders Unlimited themselves, they were 109 for 7 after 17. They were still able to score 7 and over to get up to that 130. So with more top order batters, the longer they bat, 7 and over just about achievable here. You let it go anywhere up above that 9-10 mark, then you're in trouble.
I'll give you the counter argument. 2 words, Danish Canaria. He's in the 11. He is a wily cricketer. He's a leg spinner, turning the ball away from the right-handed batters. Obviously, having googly as well to bring it back in as a surprise ball. He will be difficult to score off of. Not to mention the fact that 𝗏𝗃 𝗃𝗃𝗃 still has 1 left.
Well, at the moment it's Daniel. I completely understand your point. This is, by all means, it is going right down to the wire, it looks like it.
Oh, yes.
What a start to the Atlanta Open it will be if it happens to be in the next half an hour or so.
Oh, the pressure is continuing to build. And you know that there's chatter around. 𝗏𝗃 𝗃𝗃𝗃, very good-natured, but he's letting everybody know, hey, you might be falling behind a little bit here. That scoring or the required rate is now up above 7.
Well, if I was as good as 𝗏𝗃 𝗃𝗃𝗃, fielding at point, I'll be telling the batters, hey, get it past me, get a 1 off of me. Just putting them under more pressure, creating that little mini battle within a battle. Good players do that, and they thrive off it. That little banter, that brings out the best in them. If you ask 𝗏𝗃 𝗃𝗃𝗃 to be quiet for 20 overs, probably he won't be the same as we see him.
Yep.
7 gone. Good one there from Daniel Babb. It's 35 for 2.
Well, we said his name earlier. Corner Drive will be bowling over number 8, but the man who has just gotten onto the field is fielding at short, fine leg. It is Danish Canaria. And by the way, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, you might have to help me with the pronunciation of his name. Pronounce his last name for me.
It's Dinesh Canaria.
Canaria. Like a canary, like a bird. Well, like a bird, these deliveries will fly tossed up into the air, turning away from the right-handers into the left-handers. Watch when he comes on to bowl.
𝗂𝗍𝗃, well, before Canaria's arrival, the previous over was good. If this is a good one, and then they bring Canaria on right away, the batters will be feeling the need to go chase some runs, and that is where Canaria could really come into the play. The conditions will definitely suit him. He's had class and pedigree, getting on a bit, but I think still pretty good for this level.
Well, what you lack in athletic ability at his age, I'd guess he's around 38, 39, you make up for inexperience. Plus, we're not talking about a former fast bowler. He's a spinner, so the basic mechanics essentially remain the same up into your late 30s, early 40s. And add that to the experience that he has, and he'll be an absolute handful under these conditions.
Really dies. The batter was giving himself some room. Look at the look on 𝗂𝗍𝗃's face. No fast bowler, Brian Walters will tell you that. Like for his ball to die down the way it did. Really.
I would think this was a pace off delivery, Shah Faisal. I think it was a slower bouncer that he bowled. And I think he would have been disappointed at the fact that it bounced as high as it did. Of course, it's not very difficult to bounce it above 𝗧𝗏 𝗏. It was not very tall. But I think that's what the complaint was.
Oh, that's gone straight up. Pace off once again. And it's been taken brilliantly. It's 𝗃𝗫𝗃 who judged it to perfection. And 𝗂𝗍𝗃 with the wicket.
How well did Sujit Nayak judge that? Those are the types of catches under these conditions. Wind blowing from the east, swirling conditions. That ball is easy to put down. But he takes it so easy. Look how he judges it. Watch the footwork. Any kids who are watching this, that is how you take a high swirling catch, judging it to perfection, and that is a big wicket. The third wicket down, 37 for 3, halfway through over number 8.
As it was expected, batting is proving very, very difficult, especially after power play. With the ball gets older, the pitch tired in nature, and a coolish day as well. Not a lot of sun to just bake it down and make it dry and hard. Rishabh is the new man in.
So yeah, Rishabh Mohan, the man at the crease. And interestingly, left-hander. So you wonder in terms of the bowling changes, certainly as it relates to Danish Canaria, when he comes in with the lefty at the crease. Oh.
That was pace on for sure.
You could hear that ball thud into the gloves of Snell Patel from here. That was a pacer delivery from 𝗂𝗍𝗃. And I have to say it again. Earlier in looking at the pitch, I don't know that I've ever seen a pitch here at 𝗵𝗡 look as grassy and as tailored toward pacers as this one is today. Yes, the spinners are still going to have fun. It's still going to turn a little bit. But that delivery there tells you that there's enough in the pitch for pace and spin.
Oh, slight movement behind the bowler's arm. Jayesh Patel's caught, went right behind when 𝗂𝗍𝗃 was ready. More bounce there, making Rishabh just hop along and get off the mark, by the way. First run, but a tidy one from 𝗂𝗍𝗃. The pressure is building. One delivery to come, and last 2 overs haven't yielded many.
So, Shah Faisal, we are blessed to be able to have friends all around the country who can correct me when I make a mistake. My friend Vishwas Iyengar in Austin just sent me, well, we played together in Austin. He now lives in Houston. Just sent me a message and said, 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃 is 45 years old. Went down the leg side, asking the 45-year-old to do some work here.
Yeah, 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃 never been an athlete, really, and to have carved out such a career, it shows that what kind of skill level he had for that part of the game to be, of his game to be overlooked and still play what he did internationally. 8 overs gone, it's a 40 for 3. Well, age is just a number. 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃 has got the ball in his hand. I remember last year he got a tap in one of the quite crucial games. Was expected to make the difference, but he got tapped around. But like Brian was saying, you got to be at your very best if you want to tackle 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃 in these conditions. What's the field he's got? Long on, long off, mid wicket and square leg back. Still give it a fair rip. Give the single away to the left-hander who was hitting into the wind, and now the right-hander. That's where the fun, I think, will begin for 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃.
Oh my goodness, yes. So watch as we highlighted the required rates earlier. It is now up to 7.6. The Seattle Thunderbolts are scoring at the rate of 5.02. So they're going to have to score 2.5 more runs per over than that they're scoring right now. Scoring outside of the power play automatically becomes more difficult. And then with a wily customer like 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃, he's somebody who's going to be really difficult to accelerate off of.
Full toss, put away into the gap. It will bounce away. Nicely picked up on the bounce by 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃. He wants that long on fielder wider 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃. Interesting offside field though. Not to be mistaken by the umpire who's also in the blue. Slip in place. That is struck firmly. A fumble there. 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃 in his heyday would be a lot quicker through the air. And on pitch like this, the ball will still grip. Now he's slowing it up in the air, and a couple of deliveries have landed in the hitting arc of the batters. A half volley and a full toss.
This, for me, is an interesting matchup against the left-hander, Rishabh Mohan. 2 from 3, but the ball would be turning into him.
He's shown him a couple of leg spinners, and rotation of strike has happened on both occasions. 5 of the over with 2 to go. Not bad, really, for the Thunderbolts. 𝗿𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃's great strength is his wicket-taking ability. Leg spinner turning away, allowing the batter that width, and again I feel he's a bit slower in the air for these conditions. Maybe just warming up a little bit.
Playing himself in. He's playing himself in.
Maybe age is just not just a number.
So you're saying age always has the final say, Shah Faisal. Dot ball closes things out. Over number 9 is through. 6 runs coming from it, though. Good one for the Raiders Unlimited. Continuing to apply the squeeze. 46 for 3.
Approaching the halfway stage. 49 for 4, I think. Raiders Unlimited were. So that tells you where the Thunderbolts are.
They actually had 47. So can this be any closer, 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃?
Shot put away. Yeah, so by that count, you'd think that Thunderbolts are ahead because they're now 47 for 3 with 5 deliveries to go and still 1 wicket to the good.
Boy, it is going to be one of those that comes down to the wire. I said it earlier, but it is going to be sort of understanding what the role is for each of these batters and how they fit themselves into their role. Punch down the ground for a single here. So I think you're going to see some communication between these two batters. Okay, who is going to take charge, who is going to attack, and who is going to bat all the way through? That feels to me like it needs to be established, and it might be the left-handed Rishabh Mohan who gets to attack because of the fact that he's facing, number one, left-arm spinners turning the ball into him, and Danish Canary as a leg spinner turning the ball also into him.
Yeah, this is crucial, though. Lamb bowling from the end where the leg side hit is with the wind. Kohli 9 of 9. He's rotated the strike, the skipper. He's got a mid-wicket and a fine leg back in the ring. Long on back. In fact, the fine leg is pretty wide. It's almost backward square. It's going straight up. Long on his back. $49 for 3. Where's your money, Brian, on this one?
At the end of over number 10, the Raiders Unlimited had 49 runs. So it's neck and neck. It is neck and neck. If you had a win predictor, it would be 50.5 to 49.5, and I don't know who would be 50.5. It is going to be close. That's a very political answer, yes.
Into the pitch. Lamb, when he was batting, he really assessed the conditions well. And his flurry of that over with 3 sixes really meant that they got some momentum. Now with the ball, I'm sure he knows what's the right tactics. Can he deliver it, though, under pressure? Knowledge is one thing, execution is other. Helped on its way. No protection. And that is the boundary for the over. 50 has been brought up. Courtesy this Rishabh Mohan boundary.
On this replay, you will see that this is just too straight. From around the wicket, slanting it into the left-hander's pads, that always asks for trouble. Look at this. Look how wide he is and bringing it in around the wicket. That is not going to trouble any left-handed batter, and certainly cashing in for 4.
This time short, slashed away, 1 bounce. Good work in the deep. Daniel Lamb got lucky there. Single to close out over number 10 at the halfway stage. Thunderbolts 54 for 3.
Myself just stood up and gave Lenia Chaibar the side of the ground or the side of the table that he's more accustomed to working in. Lenia Chaibar, I defer to you, my good sir. 1 run to start over number 11.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. They need 76 from 59. We talked about a great man who's taking some top test wickets for Pakistan over time, and he's one of 4 who has really done well. We talked about, you look at 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃 with over 400 test wickets. Ball driven into the onside, we'll talk about that. But Canaria has been given the ball here, and we've already seen an over from him, Brian Walters. But haven't you seen him in Texas from time to time?
Well, I just conceded 3 runs, so he'll not be happy with that. But yes, based these days in the Houston, Texas area. Plays a fair amount of cricket, but more importantly has a coaching academy, bringing those youngsters along, including, and I forget his son's name, but he himself is an up-and-coming leg spinner, really doing well in the Houston Youth Premier League a couple of weeks ago.
So we'll come into bowl to 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃. They're going to scab it through for 1. The throw comes in. Want to have a look at that, but it was very quick, very cheeky, and in the end, good running.
It's good running. His heart would have been in his mouth, though, because this is a direct hit. Always interesting when you see direct hits. But umpire Nuruddin, I think, imagining that just getting over the line. This should give us a good look at it here. Quick pickup, an accurate throw. 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗃 Chan, the man who hits directly, didn't hit middle stump from a 45-degree angle. Didn't have a very good angle to work with, but a really accurate throw. Luckily, back home was 𝗂𝗏𝗃.
So they need 72 from 58. Lofted into the offside, safe shot. And we've seen a good partnership here between Kohli and 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃. Brian Walters, 71 to win from 57.
7-1 from 57 is not easy. It is going to require for you to score about 2 runs and over more than you're scoring right now. Current scoring rate is 5.63. You want to get up to about 7.5, and that's played back to Canaria. That is off of his shin. Lenny, that is not going to feel very good.
Yes, in soccer you have protection there, but not in cricket. Maybe if you're only feeling at forward short leg when you're playing the longer version game, so he's taking a painful blow. It's on the bone. And those are not easy hits. 61 for 3. They need 70 to win from 56.
Oh, that is painful. First of all, the fact that the ball hits you within an area of your foot where there's no protection, that in and of itself is problematic. But more to the point, this is on his plant foot. That's the foot that he plants, his left foot when he bowls. And so that is going to add that much more complication to the scenario, because you may not be able to have him finish his spell here, or into his second over, he may not be able to complete it.
Yeah, Brian, the ankle, the shin, the knees, when you get hit on those, it's pure bone.
I mean, let's just stipulate that being hit with a cricket ball doesn't feel good. Period. End of story. But if it also is in an area where you have it's your plant foot, that makes it that much more difficult. And there you see the magic spray. Hopefully the magic spray. Look at that. If you zoom in, you can see the actual swelling on his shin. And we're not doctors, Lenny, but that is an injury that I think he's going to be feeling for a while.
And sometimes, Brian, these magic spray, they have a sort of like a placebo effect. Sometimes sometimes you put water you put water inside, all of a sudden it feels good.
Lenny, spoken like somebody from New York. Placebo effect. I guarantee you he's feeling pain at the moment. That thing swole up almost as though there's, if you see like sort of a bell curve, if you will, that's what that looked like.
So 70 still needed from 56. And we've seen a good knock here from Kohli and 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗃. Ball punched into the offside again, Brian. So they're asking 7.5 runs to get. They're going at 5.7. So the bowling side has some cushion to play with as the 11th over comes to a close, 62 for 3.
Atlanta Fire. Our studied Atlanta Fire, one of the favorite.
And indeed, but that one is smack.
Well, this one is locked into the onside, a slow, short ball.
So welcome back, 62 for 3, 69 to win from 54. Sujit Nayak has been given the ball. He replaces Daniel Lam, who's gone for 8 in the last over. And ball into the onside. This is good running, and the action continues. Brian, 68 to win from 53.
It's a steady diet of the ball leaving the right-handed batters. Saw it with Daniel Bell earlier, or Daniel Babb rather, the ball turning away. Similar action here, the captain bringing himself in, Sujit Nayak, left arm orthodox, so turning the ball away from the righties. And then don't forget about Danish Canary. Assuming he's good enough to continue, he also does that with his stock delivery. So a major variable for me, Lenny, is the left-handed Rishabh Mohan. 12 from 13, but with all these bowlers turning the ball away from the righties, his role becomes very important.
And Brian, there are two quality batters out in the middle. When you look up Rishabh Mohan, he has about 3,500 runs on cricket clubs spread across the tournaments that uses cricket clubs. So those are good figures. I'm pretty sure that he has a bit more. Some leagues, not all leagues, uses cricket clubs. And so remember back in the days when you score in books, so those are not counted. So over 3,500, and Shashwat Kohli has played at the first class level in India. So there are two quality batters out in the middle, driven nicely into the offside, and they come back for 2 more.
This is where, as I highlighted, the left-hander becomes important. And just to put a button on that, the reason why that's important, the ball turning into the left-hander, able to elevate the ball over the leg side, and that's where your power stroke is going to come from. And so that role for Rishabh Mohan becomes that much more important.
So ball again into the offside, and they'll pick up similar to the previous shot, 2 more, and brings that equation down at the end of 12. It's 67 for 3 at the end of 12. They need 64 in 48. You're watching the opening games of the Atlanta Open. And for all our viewers, if you want to catch up with cricket clubs, you can go to PVCC Cricket Clubs and you can get all the games. There are more than 2 games on at the moment. And we are on the main pitch. This is pitch number 1. Brian Walters alongside me, along with Shaw Faisal a little bit earlier on, and then more overs to come for him. But Brian, we come down to 64 to win from 48 balls. 8 runs on over needed.
Pretty straightforward equation, 8 and over. As I've said earlier, the economy rate, or the required rate, keeps increasing. It's now up to 8. So 3.5, make that 2.5 runs and over needed per over, more than you're scoring right now. And importantly for me, in fact, you saw Danish Canary with the ball about to bowl, and he is now with his, look at the mark on his shin. His left shin has a tennis ball attached to it, it looks like. That is a major, major blow. You still have 2 overs of high-quality leg spin that you will not have access to. It does not look like he'll take any further part in this game, Danish Canary, and that puts pressure on the rest of the bowlers.
So the ball has been handed to Daniel Bob. And Brian, when I came into the ground, I saw Karima Gore, or at least that's what I thought.
Yep.
But this is Daniel Bob giving the ball Slow left arm orthodox, and he comes in here with 64 to defend from 48 balls. We've seen a good knock between Kohli and Rishabh Mohan. And we talked about two good batters out in the middle. Kohli has played at the first class level. Rishabh Mohan, 35 runs a quick club. The throw comes in the under armour. And he's been given out. So that's the end of Rishabh Mohan. And the big partnership comes to an end, 67 for 4.
Well, that had been the biggest partnership in the innings. It was worth 30. I highlighted the fact that his role was going to be so key. The lefty needed to stay there, but he is run out, I think, senselessly, Lenny. That's not a single. The ball is dropped right in front, maybe 10 yards away from the bat. That, to me, is a ball that you just live to fight another day, accept the dot ball, and then face the one that's coming next. There was no single there, I don't think.
So the run out comes at a time in which they need 64 from 47. 𝗂𝗃𝗃 comes to the middle. And you get the feeling, Brian Walters, you're down into the middle to lower order here. We've seen the likes of Sujit Gowda, Chatnini, and now Rishabh Mohan all back in the shade as the Raiders Unlimited. And I made the point that Raiders Unlimited is not a pushover team. Take a look at this one again.
Pretty simple underhanded throw. You'll make that throw all day long because that was, to me, just a senseless run out.
So Kohli into the offside. And Brian, I made the point when Shaw Faisal and we were together that this Raiders Unlimited team is not a pushover team. In 2023, we saw them in the final. And they lost to the mighty King's Men. That's not an easy team.
No.
Now, you might have been here.
I'm sure I was.
So the other news coming out of the cricketing world that the minor league cup is somewhere in Atlanta.
Somewhere right in these parts. That match happening about 450 miles up I-85 from where we are now.
So ball tugged into the onside. Look at that. Beats the gap between Cornet Dry and Kenjige and gone away for 4.
First real long hop that you've seen from Daniel Babb. This ball needs to be pitched up more. You lose the advantage of turning the ball away from the right-hander when you drop it short. And just easily going back onto his back foot, Harish Kakani, and hammering that one in that gap on the leg side for 4. You need those runs. Still 7.5 to go.
So 59 needed. Ball into the offside, can't score. And Brian, while Canaria was on his bowling there, I never got to complete what I meant to say. Akram with 414, Waqar Yunus 373, Imran Khan 362, and then the man at number 4, he's right here. Well, not sure, Faisal. Neither you.
Even though, had he played Test cricket, I'm sure he'd have about 500 Test wickets.
Actually, he may have more in the come box. I wonder how much.
There you go.
How many players got out under his stint?
In the meantime, watch out for this. Required rate up to 8.23. Last ball in over number 13.
Yeah, taking high up on the pad, so that will complete 13. So 13 gone. It's 72 for the loss of 4. They need 59 from 42. So we come down to 59 to win from 42. Kohli and Kakani out in the middle. Looks like Nayak will continue. And Brian's still asking 8.4. They're going at 5.5. So a bit of a gap there.
Well, this is captain versus captain. Critical matchup in the context of this game. Beautiful first delivery. Going across. Again, the left-handed orthodox bowler turning it away from the right-handed batters. You see evidence of it there.
Yeah, so much demand for these type of bowlers, Brian. I'm pretty sure that all the slow left-arm orthodox spinners, wherever you are, it's time to come back and play the game.
Including
T20 needs
one
you.
Lenny Achabar.
So 58 to win from 40 balls. Still so much hanging in the balance here. Look at 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃. He's bowled an over before. That only gave away 5. Looking for runs. It's not there. We come down to 39 balls, Brian.
You're running out of time. 6 wickets in hand. 39 balls remaining. 58 runs required. So that economy rate, meaning the run rate required, is up almost 9 at this stage.
Looking for a big shot. It comes off the bat of Kakani and gone a long way. Gone for 6.
I said they need to get a move on it, and apparently the captain heard me. Huge hit over mid-wicket, a gigantic stroke. You've seen some going that direction earlier from the bat of Daniel Lamb, and a similar shot here. You see, you see a similar shot here, probably dragging that one from a middle stump line. He wants that ball more outside the line of off stump, the bowler.
So one of the first roughed up shots off the bowling of 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃, and now it comes down to 52 to win. Kakani, we've seen him quite a few times, Brian Walters. Very useful player. We saw him bowled already. And he comes in here with 52 needed from 37. Final ball for Nayak. And pulled and gone a long way. Gone for another maximum. Big shot from Kakani. Couple of 6s in this over. And this one has gone for another one.
Lenny, this ball is currently rolling across the street on Highway 411. And that gives you a sense of how far that ball was hit. I think if you give that same ball to 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 and ask him to re-bowl it, it will be a fuller length. He allows Harish Kakani to go back onto the back foot and power that one over mid-wicket. That is a tremendous 6 and huge, huge runs, 13 of them coming in that over. End of over number 14, 85 for 4. Well, if your fielders are waiting for traffic to clear before being able to come back onto the field of play, that is not a good sign for the bowling unit.
Well, the closest red light is what? Maybe 5 miles away. So you may want to try that.
Oh, my goodness.
So 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 comes back into the bowling fray. And Brian Walters, 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍 has given you 3 already. He's picked up a couple of wickets, I think. And so he comes in here 2 for 19. And he will bowl out here at a time in which 36 balls remaining, 46 to get.
The equation just got pulled in favor of the Seattle Thunderbolts. And that's why you bring Nush 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍 back here. Typically very frugal. They need a tight over from him here.
So taking on the pad, big appeal from the wicketkeeper Snell Patel. Not out says the umpire. And so we come down to 35 balls at their disposal, 46 to win. We've seen a couple of big strikes off the bowling of Nayak in the last over. And it comes down to the likes of Kohli and Kakani out in the middle here. They still need 46 to win. Good balls, good start. Couple of dot balls here, very important at this juncture.
That's what you want from Nush 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃. Just keep things quiet. A wicket would be a nice bonus, but what you want is to start building pressure again by bowling a very frugal over.
So this one into the onside. Bob is charging the ball. They come back and good running. They pick up 2.
Really good running. Commitment to that second run. You see them running the first one hard, and it was, in fact, Shashwat Kohli running to make his ground at the striker's end. And, of course, it was Harish Kakani running to the non-striker's end, the danger end. But both of them are committed to that second run. That's the aggression that you want to see.
This ball pulled. Not timed well, or certainly wanted to maybe go a little bit bigger. Still a very good over here from 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃. 4 balls into the over. He's only conceded 3.
That whole play looked like it happened in slow motion, Lenny. I'm not sure why short fine leg didn't really seem to be very aggressive in going after that ball. But you're right. 3 runs from 4 balls at this stage. After an over, you conceded 13. This is excellent.
So ball steered into the offside. Not a single here for Kakani. Hands a strike over to Kohli, and I made the point that Shashwat Kohli comes out of India, of course, and he's played at the top level. 89 for 4. They still need 42 to win from 31. 𝗂𝐿𝐺𝐵 has gone for 4. Final ball coming up. And a partnership of 22 so far. So who will win this one here? Looks like it's going to go all the way down to the wire, Brian. Here is the final ball in this over. Driven back to 𝗂𝐺𝐵. Very good over, only conceding 4.
Excellent stuff from 𝗂𝐺𝐵. That's why you bring him back at this stage. We're all on tenterhooks, as we say, Lenny. The last 5 coming up. 89 for 4.
I know you got to come in. I don't know. I know you for sure.
You staying, Lenny?
Yeah, let me get my cable now. All right. You have a power bank?
I didn't see it. I know I need one.
Oh, what you have?
Oh, give me that.
Smell a lot of food around, man.
A lot of food in your bag. Okay, 1589 for 4.
So we're down to the last 30 balls, last 5 over. But certainly not the last of 𝗂𝗡𝗄𝗃. 𝗂𝗡𝗃 42 to win.
Yeah, the comparison reads at this stage 96 for 6. Well, the Raiders Unlimited, they were ahead in runs, but they had lost 2 extra wickets. It is a very close game to call, I can tell you that.
So 𝗵𝗺𝗃 comes back into the attack. We've seen enough spin already, 𝗂𝗡𝗃. We saw in the previous over a couple of 6s belted out of the park, and they've gone back to Abhishek 𝗵𝗺𝗃.
Well, it's about time that it was Harsh Kakani who hit those 6s, because he was the one round about similar stage of their bowling innings. He was taken for 4 6s by Daniel Lamb. So he's come back with 2 of his own. Still, you'd feel he owes his team 2 more.
So 𝗵𝗺𝗃 is played at the international level. Appeal outside the off stump for a ball well bowled that goes through to the keeper.
And like the more fancied left arm seamers, who are their stock ball is the one that comes back into the right hander, 𝗵𝗺𝗃 seems to be the old fashioned one who angles the ball across at good pace, good angle and good height. It's a different challenge. I haven't seen him bring the ball back in yet. He might have that in the armory, but why change when it's working?
So 41 still to win from 28 balls. A couple of good balls in this over though. Oh, slashed into the offside. Daniel Bob is the fielder. Not a bad over here from 𝗵𝗺𝗃.
Yeah, the angle that he's creating means that third man is literally at backward point. It's very, very wide. And that is where that ball went straight to the fielder. There is a short third inside the ring. Despite you feel that he may be bowling wider, but because of the angle, it's not quite the width available.
So very important opening game. We talked about these small groups of 5. Outside the off stump, called the wide, will have to be rebowled, so they need 39 from still 27 balls. But 𝗂𝗡𝗃, these five teams group, very critical when you can get those wins in quite early.
Yeah, definitely. There's not a lot of room for error here in this format.
And you put your mind at ease when you go to sleep with points on the table, especially on opening day, opening match. Oh, big appeal! And Nado says the umpire, all it will be is a leg by.
Umpire Nuruddin thought long and hard. It hit him on the thigh pad as well, although it seemed it was the back pad. But in umpire's opinion, like you just said, he made the gesture. In his opinion, it was going over the stumps.
Yeah, we've seen in the modern day shortfights, a lot of umpires take their time. And so you've got to carry on with the appeal. You never know when it will come.
Yeah, absolutely. You do your part of the job. Appeal and ask convincingly.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of wides in this over. But the over has gone for 5. It's 37 to win from 26.
Yeah, with 8, 8.5, 9 the requirement. If you get through the first 4 deliveries with 4 or 5 runs on the board, there is always a chance you can catch up if there is a boundary. So 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗀 would be looking to get out of the over. A wicket will be a bonus at this stage.
So a couple of balls remaining. Yeah, into the offside. Still a very good over. Although he's conceded a couple of wide shortfights, he's gone for only 6 with 1 ball coming up at a time in which he's defending at about 8 runs and over. This has been a good over so far.
A handy partnership though, because both batters are set going into the final 4 overs. That's where wicket is really key at this stage. 𝗂𝗂𝗃 more belligerent, 18 of 11. And Kohli is looking to guide the run chase right till the end. Looks like that's the role definition they've assumed.
Yeah, forcefully driven down the ground. Still a very good over here from 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗀. It comes to an end, 7 off it. And after 16, it's 96 for 4. They need 35 to win from 24 balls.
The annual Atlanta Open T20 tournament returns October 7th to 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. Presented by Atlanta Fire Cricket and 𝗃𝗃 Real Estate, 12 teams packed with the best domestic and international T20 talent will be on show. Catch live action on the MLC Network, Willow Cricket and T Sports.
So we come down to the last 24 balls, 35 to win Shaw Faisal, a partnership of 29. Second best as 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗀 has been given the ball.
Yeah, this is critical. Well, this is critical as well. It's the right time of the day to be heading to that truck. If you like your food, like me and Brian do.
Yes.
Lenny generally is not very keen.
Spicy Daisy. Gotta have some of that before I leave the Atlanta Open.
Yeah, I know you like to try things, Lenny.
Yeah, we gotta set up a batting order for you, Shaw Faisal. Here is 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗀. Oh, flicked away uppishly into the onside. And what should have probably be only 1, they've come back for 2, a bit of misfield.
When I said this critical moment, and before we got onto the food truck, the critical thing is that 𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗀 traditionally doesn't bowl really well in the death overs. And that is a big call here to get him in. Required run rate hovering around that 8.5. Started off with 2 of his first deliveries. Harsh 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃 has looked good.
So a couple of big partnership here featuring Shashwat Kohli. We saw earlier on a big partnership with Rishabh Mohan that yielded 30 runs. Oh, smashed into the onside. Fielder settles under it. Easy catch for Heath Richards. It's 98 for 5.
Safe pair of hands, Heath Richards. Feel that 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃 will be disappointed. He missed out there. He got the length. Probably didn't got the pace off the wicket to allow him that kind of timing to get it over the head of Heath Richards. It went straight. He didn't have to move an inch. He had a real good view of it towards our right. Have a look at him in the distance. It went straight down his throat. Good knock from 𝗂𝗂𝗃𝗃 has come to an end. The game still very much on for both the sides. 5 done now for the Thunderbolts. They're 98.
So Russian Primus, walks to the middle with 33 required from 22. We've seen a couple of big partnership, one for 30, one for 31, featuring Shashwat Kohli, Harsh Kakani and Rishabh Mohan. But it comes down to a situation in which Russian primus Shah Faisal has always been called upon, and that is to score and score quickly. 33 needed from 22.
Yeah, that's where he earns his money with the bat. Roshan Primus was hampered by a little bit of injury in the fielding innings, had to walk back and only bowled 2 overs. But 𝗂𝗍𝗃 would not want to get into the hitting arc of Roshan Primus, because he can hit them, no doubt about that.
So 2 and a wicket in this over for 𝗂𝗍𝗃. And he starts with a short ball, handled well by Primus. He gets off the mark. Hands a strike over to Kohli. Kohli has been there for some time. Shah Faisal, 2 meaningful partnership with Rishabh Mohan. And not too long ago, Kakani, 99 for 5.
Never too bad an idea to surprise a batter when he's least expecting it with the bumper. And Primus, who was be looking for a length, got surprised, still got himself off strike. But this is the contest. Well, Midoff has just been sent back. I thought that was one area that Kohli, if he was looking for a boundary. But now there's no one behind square on the offside in the deep.
Oh, he's gone big, gone far, gone for 6. Massive strike from Shashwat Kohli and brings up the 100 in the process.
That is a timely blow. That was on the card. Really a nothing delivery if you have a look at it again. Right into the hitting arc in the slot, although pace off, but plenty of pace off the bat of Kohli. And it sailed away. Very few have gone in that direction that far. But it really came off the sweet spot. And pressure back on 𝗂𝗍𝗃.
So the 100 up for Thunderbolts simply means 105, 26 needed. Here is 𝗂𝗍𝗃. Better ball in the block hole. He does well to keep it out. Still 105 for 5, Shah Faisal.
Yeah, 𝗂𝗍𝗃 would be thinking to himself, why didn't he try that first? Over the years, he's developed his Yorker quite nicely, but still you feel that under pressure, he doesn't really rely on that skill to produce the perfect Yorker. So more reliant on change-ups when he comes back to ball in the death overs.
So his final ball of this over, he's gone for 9. At a time when you're asking them to defend 8, just over 8. And final ball coming up here, they still need 26 off 19. Good delivery, big appeal, and Nadal says the umpire. Now he's been run out. So what started as a big appeal for leg before wicket may have found Shashwat Kohli a little bit distracted, and in the end he crawls out of the area. The keeper takes the stumps apart, and he's run out. 105 for 6.
Well, one thing Kohli needed to realize that Primus would never be up for quick singles, and he was looking for that. That appeal was vociferous, but look at how far he's gone. Umpire Nuruddin in the spotlight. Make your own mind. We may come back and have another look, but at the moment, Kohli's gone. He was not happy with the decision. Thunderbolts, 105 for 6. See it a bit slower. We couldn't see the line on that replay though. Well, make up your own minds. Can't see a better look of the line here, but Kohli was disappointed after playing very well. This game takes another twist. When that 6 was hit, you felt Thunderbolts had the momentum, but then the fall of the wicket, and it's still game on. 26 needed. So are we into the first super over of the tournament in the very first game?
Well, Shah Faisal, you called it. So 𝗵𝗃𝗃 will continue. 𝗃𝗶𝗃 has come to the middle. Russian Primus will be on strike.
Super over or 1 point? If there is a tie game in group stages, share points.
So 26 from 18 balls. Abhishek 𝗵𝗃𝗃 has been given the ball here. And Shaw Faisal, I understand no super over.
Yeah, that idea of super over, thought it very quickly because Mangesh was around just in time to clarify that the points will be shared if the match gets tied in the group stages.
Oh, that's a powerful shot from Russian Primus. Takes evasive action, the umpire, and that has gone quickly down, straight down the ground for 4.
Well, that was the umpire who gave Kohli out, who wasn't happy. And Primus really muscled it down the ground. Umpire Nuruddin had to get out of the way. Good reflexes, sir.
So 22 off 17. Great start to this over for the Thunderbolts. And this one, take that! 6 more off the batter, Russian Primus. And 2 in 10.
2 telling blows. Roshan Primus got under it, and it almost ended up in Cartersville. That was a massive strike.
Yeah, for the second time, Shaw Faisal in a couple over, the ball has crossed the road. And we talked about those traffic. There's no traffic lights around here, so you can't wait on that. So the fielder will have to take his chance quickly, and he gets across the road now. But a couple of big blows there from Russian Primus.
Yeah, I heard you say there's no traffic lights for 55 miles. Not quite like that, but there's a stop sign just half a mile down the road. That may help. The ball has been retrieved, though. And that was a meaty blow, though. Yeah. That could really also kill the spirits of the opposition, the kind of blow it was. And having the sight of Roshan Primus, the big muscular man, that could be deflating.
All of a sudden has brought the equation down to 16 off 16. So any hopes of the Raiders Unlimited to maybe push this game close will have to be rethink now with 10 and 2 balls off the bowling of 𝗵𝗃𝗃. So 16 off 16. Primus has gone quickly up to 11. And actually, Primus has only faced 3 balls. Shaw Faisal 1-6-1-4. And this one hammered into the onside. Fielder comes around, does well to keep the ball in play. Save the boundary, but they come back for 2.
Even with Primus hobbling along, came back for the second. Gleeful cheers there from the dugout for the Thunderbolts. They don't want to cause too much damage to their big man so early in the tournament. Like you mentioned earlier, getting that first win is also important. Primus putting his body on the line for the team.
So ball outside the off stump, called the wide. So this over's gone for 13 in just 3 balls from 𝗵𝗃𝗃. And Shaw Faisal, you look at the Seattle Thunderbolts, one of a few teams with minor league branding. Atlanta Fire, Atlanta Lightning being the other 2 at the top of my head. And they've come in here, established teams, go around the region playing cricket. 13 to win. Yeah, play and a miss. So a couple of good balls here. In fact, 1 good ball in this over from 𝗵𝗃𝗃. We have just seen it.
Yeah, that's the kind of pressure someone like Roshan Primus can put you under. Just 13 of 5 deliveries, but how crucial those 2 hits were in the context of the game.
Yeah, we talked about the playing style and the skill of Roshan Primus, or certainly what is needed of him when teams are picked. And that is, he comes in briefly, he gives you big runs quickly. And he's done that. Look at that. In to the hands of, it looks like Daniel Lamb. And Roshan Primus' flamboyant innings comes to an end. He's gone for 13.
Is there still hope for the Raiders Unlimited? That game has been that kind of an affair. Seesaw. One team gets ahead and then the second team makes a comeback. 𝗵𝗏𝗂 with the last laugh. Nicely bowled. He bowled it away from the heading arc and that fielder was strategically placed a straight mid-off. And on the second attempt, Daniel Lamb with a catch. Primus, you would think, has played his part though. 118 for 7 for Thunderbolts.
So Desai comes to the middle, 13 from 13. And you get the feeling Shaw Faisal, Raiders Unlimited, will be hoping that with run a ball left here for a win, they'll fancy their chance with Russian Primus now walking back to the pavilion.
Two batters with no ball between them. They haven't faced anything. 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗃 and now the new man walking in. So Desai, that match had that feeling of it's going to go all the way down to the wire, and it's proving to be the case.
So 130 posted by the Seattle Thunderbolts. And we're seeing a very good attempt here to defend that. Not a big score in context of T20 cricket, but we talked about in the last, maybe the last 2 months, 130, 150 is still a fighting score at this facility. Here is the final ball. Aryan Desai on strike. Oh, he gets a ripper that goes through to the keeper. And so a strong end to the over from 𝗵𝗏𝗂 because he has taken the wicket of Russian Primus. And so 18 gone, it's 118 for 7. They need 13 from the remaining 2 overs. To win from 12 balls, 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 will come in to bowl to 2 new batters out in the middle, 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 and Aryan Desai, Shaw Faisal. Still, it could go either way. 13 to win.
Yeah, this is a mouth-watering contest now. 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 2 for 19, final over. Remember, Danish Canaria had to walk off because of that ankle injury.
Well edged. Man, well placed there, Shaw Faisal in the ring. And things are on the way. 12 to win from 11 balls.
Yeah, change of pace once again from 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃. I think number 8 and 9 in. This big, tall, fast bowler will be aiming for the stumps to knock him over. Nothing like wickets, though. That can really make the contest even difficult for the batting team. There's still time for these batters to just have a few sighters, just 1 or 2 in this over, because not a lot in it. 1 boundary, and it could really ease the nerves. When is that boundary coming? That is the question.
And the big question to Shaw Faisal, as 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 has bowled 2 good balls here, just a couple of singles. The question is how much he leaves for the last over, which I think might be bowled by 𝗵𝗏𝗃𝗂.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, who would be your pick for the final over? The options available to the skipper, like I said, Danish Canaria walked off.
Yeah, it might be 𝗵𝗏𝗃𝗂, unless you want to go to Nayak, the leg spinner, or Daniel Bob. Yeah, 3 good balls in this over. No, not a wide, and a slow delivery here from 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 to great effect.
Yeah, into the pitch, and he's looking to bowl the ball wide of the batters. These lower order batters, generally they like to go towards the car corner. So dragging it from that far could be difficult.
So 11 remaining to get, 11 to get from 9 balls. This over's gone pretty well for 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃. 1, 1 and a dot. So half of the over gone. And 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 uses that experience. Shaw Faisal, he runs in to bowl to 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃. And into the onside. Will look for two. Fielder comes in. 𝗂𝐤𝐜𝐽. They're not going to take too many chances from 𝗂𝐤𝐜𝐽. It's a single.
Yeah, pressure building, that boundary that we were talking about at the start of the over. The longer it takes for it to arrive, the pressure will build and may just result in a wicket.
So we come down to 8 balls remaining, 2 in this over. 6 for the final. And they still got 10 runs to get, 121 as you can see on your card here. 121 for 7. 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍 on strike. He gets a foolish ball, called a wide, and will have to be rebowled.
Yeah, 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍 suggesting that the batter moved, but umpire Ravi not phased, and another extra. Well, any which way will do for the Thunderbolts. Raiders Unlimited.
So 9 needed in 8 balls. Required runs in single digits. Shaw Faisal as 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍 walks to his mark. A very long run, almost at the 30-yard mark. 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍, it's 122, 9 needed. Slashing shot through the offside and will run away for a magnificent boundary off the bat of 𝗬𝗍.
Yeah, too much weight, too full on that occasion. And 𝗬𝗍 just flays it through. There was no protection in front of square. 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍 once erring in length and pays the price for it. Look at that. Was it a pace-off delivery? It was, but it was too wide, allowing the batter to just free his arms. And now another twist in this game.
So 5 needed. This was gone for 8. A classic shot into the offside from 𝗂𝗫𝗃𝗍. We saw him earlier on bowling left arm seam, but here he is. 5 runs needed. And he plays and misses outside the off stump. The 19th over comes to a close. They need 5 in the final over. It's 126 for 7. Down to the last 6 balls. They need 5 to win. 4 will tie the game, share the points, and we were told that there's no super over in the league stage. So Shaw Faisal, it's either getting 5, winning it, or on anything under that you'll share points. 𝗃𝗏𝗃 has been given the ball.
Well, that's the obvious choice. So much so for that boundary in that 19th over. Here we go.
And 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 picks it up, sends it over the middle of area, and it's gone away for a boundary.
And the scores are tied. Thunderbolts are almost there. Joyous celebrations in the dugout. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 charges down the wicket, gets it on the half volley, mid-off up in the ring. And that is the most telling blows which could possibly have sealed the deal.
So good strike from 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. And you get the feeling that it's all in the bag already for the Thunderbolts. They'll take points here. Unless 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 can produce a miracle in the remaining 5 balls. He runs into bowl to 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. And 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 plays and misses. Ball goes through to the keeper.
Yeah, now may seem a bit too late, but 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, can he do some miracle? A hat trick. I don't think we're going to see 4 dot balls unless there are wickets falling. But field in. There is a short mid-wicket in. How many fielders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inside the ring. It's the fielder at third. That's it.
Oh, this one into the onside. Could go all the way. And look at that in fine style. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 ends it. barring all the drama and suspense, he brings it to a quick end. And it's a win for the Seattle Thunderbolts.
Well, 2 boundaries, and there you go. One hand off the handle, but any which way will do. Coming through a tight run chase on a difficult pitch. Thunderbolts will take the plaudits. It was a hard-fought game, but in the end, Thunderbolts came up trumps. And even the late order flurry from 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃 was important, not by quantity, but by value, because that has sealed the deal. And 2 points in the bag with only 3 deliveries to go. What a start to Atlanta Open. Lenia Chabar, you were arriving when that first game started, but you see most of it, and that was really a fantastic start to the event.
Well, they really batted well. We saw 𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗃, the customary handshake that the game that the game is always played in the spirit of the game, in the competitiveness of the competition. And so, folks, a big win here for the Seattle Thunderbolts. They win by 3 wickets. We've seen very good knock from 𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗃, Rishabh Mohan. And look at that. 𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗃, Rishabh Mohan, Roshan Primus.
Crucial contribution in that middle. 2 partnerships, but when Kohli went, 2 blows from Roshan Primus, and then 2 towards the end by 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃. Not to forget Aryan Desai's decisive blow against Conrad Rai in the 19th over. A well-rounded team effort with the bat for the Thunderbolts. Good value for their victory. Noshkanjige, you can always trust Conrad Rai. Couple of boundaries against his name in those over number 3 and 4 proved really crucial. And Paratkar probably not had one of his best days. 6 extras to go with that. 3 deliveries to spare, and the target was overhauled at loss of 7 wickets.
Yeah, earlier on, we see Daniel Lamb fighting knock of 40, played some big shots along the way. Sikaram got him off to a good start. When we saw Sikaram, Shaw Faisal, we were on course for maybe a 160, 170 game, but this is how the game plays. Roshan Primus, and we saw Kakani picking up a couple of wickets. Khatri picked up 2. And in reply to 130 posted by the Raiders Unlimited, you just saw one unfold. We talked about the good batting of 𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗃. And in the end, 𝗂𝗃𝗄𝗃 brings it home. So there you have it, folks. Seattle Thunderbolts, they win by 3 wickets. And about how it's important in the early stages. So we'll hand you over pretty soon to Brian Walters, as he's got an important guest. But for now, take a look at some of the earlier highlights. Earlier on, some big strikes from the left-hander Sikaram, who got them off to a quick start. Unmukt Chand looks Zach Tribe along with Unmukt Chand. We saw some very good bowling also from 𝗂𝗏𝗂𝗃. Unmukt Chand went quite cheaply.
Just do the innings highlight. The batting was difficult, especially after the power play in the first innings as well. Big hits were few and far between. At 1 over of Kakani, that produced 3 sixes, but otherwise quite a few big hits landed in the laps of the field. Only 1 laps in the field for the Thunderbolts. Generally, their catching was pretty good.
Yeah, in came Daniel Lamb, who played some really big shots. Yeah, their catching has really been good.
That's the time when Danny Lamb got hold of Harsh Kakani. 4 sixes in the space of 2 overs.
Yeah, 3 of them consecutively, Shaw Faisal, and really was looking like maybe a 150 game from there on. But the Thunderbolts, they fought back well, and they were able to restrict the Raiders Unlimited to just 130. We saw towards the end, wickets came in heaps. And in the end, 130. This is a lovely shot from one of the middle order batter.
Yeah, the Thunderbolt start wasn't quite big boundaries, but they were quite a few dot balls. 𝗂𝐭𝐲𝐜, after a 4 and a 6, took sweet revenge. That is Sujit Gara in full flight, but it didn't last very long after that boundary. Have a look at this absolute peach of a delivery, knocking over the top batter. Bharat Kaur's arrival squeezed that middle order. 𝗂𝗫𝗓𝗏's first spell was very impressive. Change of paces into the pitch, no timing. And medium pace of Daniel Lamb.
Yeah,
when he was offline, he got punished.
Yeah, Rishabh Mohan and Shashwat Kohli played a very good hand at 30-run partnership. Look at that. Lovely shot that went into the deep areas. And it came down, some nervy moments at times when it came down to when Russian Primus walked out. Shaw Faisal, they still needed, what, 20 runs?
Yeah, that time was crucial. But before that, Kohli had played a couple of big shots. And when he got run out, that is after he deposited 𝗂𝗫𝗓𝗏. It went right after this delivery where he got himself run out in a tangle with Primus. But that is the time where you thought that the momentum was shifting, not according to Primus. That was a boundary, but the next one was even better.
Yeah, he got 14 off just 3 balls when he started and may have given them that extra lift. Even when he got out, he made it so simple, run a ball. Take a look at that.
Boundary from 𝗂𝗫𝗓𝗏, and then 2 in the final over from Karthik Garapalli sealed the deal. Brian Walters is ready with the post-match interview as well. Just about to get it to him. Brian, are you ready? Over to you, mate.
Here with Sujit Nayak, you all fell short at the end, your opposition winning by 3 wickets. What do you think went wrong for your team?
I think 130 to start off with. I think we were aiming to get over 140, 150. I think that would have been a great total to have. Just a few errors. First game of the tournament, not too bothered, to be honest. We've got 3 more games. Hopefully win them.
So you mentioned 130. I didn't think that 130 was enough initially, but halfway through, you almost looked like you were a nose ahead. Your left arm spinners, you included, were doing well. Just got rid of the left-handed bat. But they came good with some big blows toward the back end. So credit to them.
Oh, definitely. Credit to the batters. The way they finished the game, the wicket got better and they kind of capitalized on it.
So talk briefly about your spinners. But your left arm pace, Abhishek Paradkar led the man leagues in wickets this year. Maybe a little bit more expensive toward the back end in this game than he would prefer it to be. But how much do you depend on him going through the rest of this tournament?
Oh, he's a champion bowler, and I'm sure he'll bounce back. One game doesn't define anyone. I totally trust him, and I'm sure he'll do better in the second game.
Best of luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
The Raiders Unlimited falling short, getting victory for the Seattle team by the margin of 3 wickets. Back to you in the studio.
So there you have it, folks. Seattle Thunderbolts, they win by 3 wickets and they complete an early win in the series. The action continues on this pitch. And later on, we'll see, not too long from now, 2 or 2:30 starts, Stallion X will take on the Atlanta Force. So that's what we'll do it from now until we see you in about half an hour's time. Good evening, good afternoon, and stay tuned for more cricket coming up from pitch number 1.